And we're here, we're live, we are live, we're still working from home, aren't we, Ben?
We are. Brayden, what do you think?
Vikings. All I care about are Vikings. Finally, a game that I can scratch that God of War itch with.
Don't forget Mortal Kombat. There is even more gore coming soon.
And Xbox revealed some gameplay footage, apparently. All that and much, much more on tonight's Critical Path. Hello, welcome to the Critical Path. This is episode 96 of Hack the Dino's news and nonsense program. We're a little bit later than usual because reasons, but rest assured, we're here now with you, our loving, patient, wonderful viewers. My name is Ben Rosenthal, and I am joined here for episode 96 by the collector of the limbs, the man himself who's about to go Ultra Instinct, Mr. Dan McGuinness.
Hey, hello.
Hello, you're all flutter. We're also joined by the game anthropologist, Mr. Floppy Starrick.
Hello, everybody. I don't have a cool cup of coffee, sorry.
And last but not least.
Don't yell, that is cut out. It actually cut itself out then.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm trying to hype the levels because we're all about to be very angry men earlier. Anyway, Braden's here. He's a Millennial Falcon.
Hello, everybody. I am here as well. Very excited for getting into what we're talking about today.
Yes, and if you're excited too, you should totally hit that little thumbs up button over on YouTube when it goes live a little bit later on at youtube.com/hackthedino. You should also ring that little bell and hit that subscribe button while you're there because that helps us grow. You should also hit that follow button if you're with us here on twitch.tv/hackthedino, or you're over on mixer.com/hackthedino, or even watching us over on ye olde Facebook. Never has there been a website more determined to destroy democracy than Facebook. And while you're there destroying democracy, baby, you can like our page for all the video game news. You might also want to join us over on bit.ly/hackthedino and join our little community there where we all have a chat and a nice tea party and talk about wonderful things like video games. But before that, you should hear about what we've been playing this week.
What we've been playing.
Now, I'm not sure, but I'm not sure we're over on Twitch at the moment, so...
It says we're live. I'm pretty sure we're live on Twitch.
You've got that on your thing? Because I can't get a picture up on mine. All right, that's fine. Anyhow, what have we been playing? It's a great question. Sorry about that.
Steve, what have you been playing? Because I'm very interested to hear how this game has turned out.
How this game that you know what I have been playing already is going to turn out?
Yes.
Well, for those who want to know, I have been playing Gears Tactics over on the Xbox Game Pass. You can see here. I'm just going to bring up my notes because I'm totally flustered, as you can probably tell. So Gears. It's Gears Tactics. It's set 1 year before the first Gears of War. I think it was around about 1 year, and it's a prequel kind of vibe. You play as a disgruntled Gabriel Diaz who has gotten so angry at the military he has demoted himself to the motor pool, and he wants to work on cars. He gets called up by the coolest guy ever. You can see he looks like Solid Snake. He's a giant guy with a moustache and an eye patch. His name is Sid Redburn, and he recruits you in. And your goal is you have to go... They've found out that there's this locust. You know, the bad guys are called the locusts. There's a locust scientist that is making all the bioweapon monsters. So that's your goal. The goal in this game... So it's a small goal, which is what I liked. You just had to go and kill this dude. This scientist. Anyhow, so you get into it. Yeah, that's your opening scene. You get in your car. You go to this place, and... the game starts out with some beautiful scenes, and it's an XCOM style game. For those who don't know what an XCOM style game is, it's hard to explain actually. It's a tactic game, so you can move a certain amount of like spaces, and it's turn based shooting and stuff like that. That's as deep as I'm going to go into actually what it is. As you see, straight away the graphics look great. I was like, "Yep, this looks beautiful. Beautiful trees." And then I was like, okay, it's XCOM games. What am I trying to say? Game style. It is a bit of an easier version though, but I did find the controls are a little bit hard to grasp. You had to like do stuff which I found really strange, like in these normal kind of tactical games, you can move your cursor around and you can see where you can move. In this, you had to press A before it put the cursor into the map, and then you could move around. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but it actually affects like your flow of your game a lot when you're constantly trying to like just look to see where you want to move next, and you're like, why isn't it working? Oh yeah, I have to press A to get into that mode. So that was a little bit weird. So the movement in this one is an area cone instead of more tiles that you used in the XComs and your Phoenix points. And what was the one you played, Braden? Chimera
That
War?
was one of the other, the newer XCOM style one they've done.
What's the other one? Mario Rabbids. That used tile, but this is more of a cone movement, as in like an area of effect. It's much more fast moving than the original XCOM and stuff like that, because it's basically there's no other game in this. Where XCOM you had the fighting, and then you had your base building part, and then you had your widget world watching part of it. But yeah, this one doesn't have any of the base building kind of stuff. It just has leveling up. But first I want to say, so you have your Overwatch technique, which is in all these XCOM ones, which is, as people who know have played XCOM, is an ability that you put on the end of your turn, and that means if anyone gets in front of you and moves in their next turn, you'll have a shot at them. The thing I found is the enemies use this at the end of every single turn. So you constantly just had constant Overwatch, but you had an ability in this one that you could do, which was an Overwatch like interrupter. But that was your whole turn. So you constantly were just using your turns on interrupting their Overwatch, which was really annoying. But yeah, so you have your characters, you level them up as you go through. You can level on a skill tree. So you've got your whole big skill tree there, and you can go, I can choose to go this way down the skill tree, so it makes me more of a medic or an assault dude or, stuff like that for each individual characters. And you can also upgrade your weapons with skill points and all stuff like that. Each character has its own kind of like special ability. You can see there the guy on screen at the moment, Sid Redburn, did his like charge attack. And you have like killing moves as well. So you wound the characters and they go into, like in the Gears games where you're wounded and they're crawling along. And if they get near another player, they can up them. So you have to go and actually like destroy some of them, and every time you do a kill move, like a chainsaw move or stuff like that, all your party gets another AP point, like a point to do another move in that round.
That's nice.
So you can plan all these attacks like that. That is the main thing I noticed. You have attacks that give AP to your whole team in the real time go, not even on the next turn. Sorry. So I thought it was really cool. So you don't have your base. The game takes about 25 hours to 30 hours, which is heaps long. It's longer than most Gears games.
I was going to say that'd be way longer than the normal just Gears games in general. Like
the last one was like 8 hours, wasn't it? Or 10?
Yeah, it was short, wasn't it?
Yeah.
XCOM, the most recent, not XCOM, the most recent Gears, people were talking about how it was such a short campaign.
Well, they have the vibers there. They usually run about 12 to something hours. And this one's like 25. And I'm like, that's a real game. I'm a real game, Dad. So I was that was great. Overall, it's a great tactics game. It feels that XCOM void. If you're wanting an XCOM, I know Chimera War kind of feels that void at the moment, but this is a great introduction to tactic games, and especially if you're familiar with the Gears of War universe, you don't have to suss out who the baddies are. You look at those little grunt guys, I know them, they run at you, so they're not going to fire at me. You know what I mean? Like if you're into that gear, so you go, that guy, I'll take him out with I don't have to worry about him shooting me because he just runs at me and stuff like that. I didn't quite get to any mega bosses. The tutorial took over an hour.
Yeah, I was going to say, because when you were streaming this, I jumped in and I was like, oh, it's still the tutorial, okay. And then I checked in a little bit later and I was like, oh, it's still the tutorial, okay.
Yeah.
It just kept going.
It was a long, but I just kind of think it wasn't the tutorial. It was just the first mission goes for an hour and it had tutorial elements in it. And yeah, That's it. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to say about it.
I was going to say, for everything that I've seen about it, it seems like it's just XCOM, but we're going to take some of the more finicky strategy stuff out, and we're just going to make it focus dead on the action.
Well, the thing I didn't like about XCOMs was like doing your base. Stressing out about, like, there was so much you missed in XCOM. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're like, was I supposed to do that? Was I supposed to let that day go by? Was I supposed to build a satellite? Was I supposed to build a base? Did I miss out on research? And in this, it's just like, it's a narrative that you're playing through and you're upping your thing. And if you get to a level that you can't, do, you'll probably go back and just up your thing. The violence was pretty good in it. It's typical Gears violence. It wasn't as violent as I wanted it to be. But I don't think
blood spurting was not enough.
I don't think any game is, for me, in violent levels. But yeah. So I'm going to give it a great beginner's tactics game and a fun entry into the Gears world. Definitely. And it wasn't like it's just like a attack on. This is like a full-fledged game. As I said, it's longer than most Gears games. And I reckon they're going to introduce some characters into this, like Sid Redburn. He's a rad character. He might die by the end of it. I don't know. But yeah, they're going to definitely introduce some characters. And you'll probably cross over into some, Gears characters you already know and love, younger versions of them and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. Who's
Very
up next?
Well, I do love me a fun entry into anything. Speaking of fun entries, I played Shadow of the Colossus remake.
I was wondering where that was going.
Yeah, can you never say?
That's what she said. Hey, I'm going to get so much hate for my opinions right now. I might as well start off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, I read your show notes, man.
I played Shadow of the Colossus remake over the past fortnight, and cue the hate mail. I did not like it at all. From my experience, the camera is awful and the controls are janky as hell. The world is beautiful but empty and rather boring. The Colossus fights were frustrating. Climbing was absolutely abysmal, especially with the camera controls and everything. The first Colossus battle appeared simple, like it's that big woolly mammoth type dude. You've seen him in all the trailers and everything. So there's 2 points that you have to focus on. The first one being his leg to get him down on his knees, and you climb up and you hit him in the head. This is the tutorial level. This is the first thing you come up across. So I did that, and I'm standing at the glowing bit on his head for, I reckon, 40 minutes going, I'm trying to shine my sword on his weak spot because I thought that's what you had to do. I've never played the original, by the way. This is my first time.
Shine your sword on his weak spot?
Well, that's what they said to do to start off with.
Put that on a T-shirt.
No, I like easy entries. So I'm shining the thing on his head, trying to get him to do whatever. And it turns out in the end, after I had to search 3 or 4 different guides to find out what was going on and swearing at the TV a whole heap, no, I had to hold R. So I had to hold R to bend over and then shiny entry into his head.
So all that was wrong was that you weren't bending over properly.
All that was wrong is that I just tried to shove it in without, getting nice and close. I just assumed my shiny sword would be able to penetrate from there, but no, I had to get closer and thrust it in.
Jesus.
So don't do this, Brayden. I'm exceptionally good at bad euphemisms, and I will get in trouble if you put me on that path.
Yeah,
Your Honor. So this is the tutorial level. This should be the most simplest way to describe it. So they either need to spell it out more, or they needed to, I don't know, do it better. I thought I was going to be the only one who thought this way about this game because it's regarded as a classic. And after putting it out there and speaking to others, a lot of other people agreed with me. They said that the original game was janky as hell and they didn't really improve any of the controls coming into this remake. And I thought, well, if you're remaking something, isn't like Floppy, Brayden, you guys played the original?
Yes. And the first remake. And this is the second remake.
I have not. As a child with a PS2, I was not interested in this game.
Floppy, do you have fond memories of Shadows of the Colossus?
I do, but I think that's because I didn't know any better.
Right.
I liked it because it was really different, and I was always one of those kids that liked things that was a bit different. I say kid. I wasn't a kid. I was like 20.
That's a kid. It's a kid nowadays.
But so I liked it because it was artistically different and not mainstream, and that sort of drew me to it. I'm well aware that it was not great to control.
Thank you.
It's not great to control. It is. It was not intuitive at all.
Right. Yeah. So it's a janky game. It's broken. No, it's not broken, but it's
Not
janky
broken,
as hell.
It's just
And if this is
badly-
the second remake they've done and
Yeah.
they still haven't got it right, they obviously want these controls to be like. Anyway, I played it for about an hour and a half. Won't be going back to it. Boring.
Did you realise this is the third time around?
No, I didn't actually. Until you
First
said
time
it.
was on PS2. Second one was on PS3, and they came with a Ico and the Shadow of Colossus double pack.
Ah, that's
and then
right.
this is another one that was remade from the ground up.
And they still didn't fix it. Anyway, the whole place is boring as well. So thumbs down. Won't play it again. Glad I got it for free. I also played Animal Crossing as per usual. Although I'm over 150 hours into that game, and I'm just about done with it, I think. And I also found a really cool game called Evoland, which I'll go into a little bit later on. But for now, I'm going to handball the sword over to Brayden.
Handball the sword over. I mean, sure, that works. I've legit just been playing more Animal Crossing and XCOM. But other than that, I joined Dan for the stream on Sunday. The two of us were playing some Division 2.
This is
Sorry
our
about that.
actual footage as well of us playing. And
Yeah, so we'll see how good Dan is at shooting and see how many kills I steal from him when he gets someone down really low and I piss him off by taking the final shot at him.
this is that level, Braden, that you loved. That we're in the Space Center.
Oh, yes. Oh, this was dope. So in the middle of this, all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, cool. We're in a massive observatory and people are shooting at us from broken panels. And then there was another section where an actual space shuttle dropped from the ceiling and collapsed onto where its display was. This section was awesome. It was the little Mars rover and everything. Oh, it was great fun. We had a great night playing.
Yeah,
I missed out on that.
the main missions in this game is heaps cool because you go to all these I thought about where's a really interesting place you could have a firefight. Yeah, at a space center or what did we do one the other night where it was an American museum, a history of America, and you're going through all of the 1950s cars and stuff like that, and it goes through all the years.
Yeah,
Cool.
they do a really good job of fleshing out it's literally just it's Washington, isn't it? Yeah, because it's got the White House and stuff is its central hub. But they've just filled it out with all of these main missions set in all these dope locations that give every main mission a bit of fun flavor to it. And I mean, sure, the game is still just it's still just a big multiplayer third person shooter, but they've kept it quite interesting because the world's just dope.
True. We are having some trouble with Twitch at the moment. No one can seem to log on. So
I will just say I've just logged on to our Mixer channel at mixer.com/Hack The Dino. It appears to be streaming over on Mixer. Okay, so if everyone wants to head on over to Mixer, mixer.com/Hack The Dino, they can watch the game show there for.
do you want to put that in the
free.
chat?
Sure
I'm gonna
will.
make a conspiracy here. I believe that it's part of the Inside Xbox 2020 experience, and they're just trying to take down Twitch, so they're trying to force everyone to go over to Mixer.
Well, this would be the most gameplay footage they've seen on it.
Oh!
Excellent. Oh, what a burn.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Oh my god.
Try the veal.
God
It's
damn.
delicious.
But yeah, so if you guys want to cruise over to Mixer, we've got that in the. I know this isn't too cool for the podcast people, but if you want to cruise over to Mixer, if you want to watch us live, please cruise over there. The link is in the description in the link in the Twitch chat. But from that, let's move on.
Oh, I'd like to
Floppy's
talk
still
about
got
what I was
something to play.
That's what I mean. Move on.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, I've been playing something a little bit different. I decided to pick up Cooking Mama Cook Star on the Switch.
Are you sure it's called Cookstar? It wasn't what
I
you wrote
am
in the
very
notes as
sure.
Cockstar?
That was a spelling error.
Oh, now who wants to be
Me
bending
knows
over?
I can't type to save my life. Anyway, so I picked up Cooking Mama Cookstar. It's the latest game in the series that I think has been going since the DS, and this is the 10th or 11th game in this series. I've never played one of them. for obvious reasons. But this one's had a bit of controversy surrounding it. It got pulled off the eShop. There's been no more physical copies out there. I'm not sure what the actual reason was, but there was talks of was it data mining? I don't believe it.
Yeah, the Bitcoin mining chunk
something
thing.
crazy like that.
And then there's been a bunch of stuff with the developer and the publisher, and
someone didn't have the right to release it or something. Anyway, it was enough to pique my interest. I got to see what this thing is about because this thing is selling for like crazy dollars online now as well. It is a cooking game. It is a cooking game that is purely made for this version anyway to showcase the movement controls of the Joy-Cons in the Switch. It's simple. It's actually kind of fun. You literally do just sit there with different recipes, preparing them by prompts that pop on the screen by shaking your Joy-Con sideways to grate some cheese, or chopping things by swinging your arm up and down, or button presses, almost like QuickTime events. Things like that. So this is a weird one. You have to dye cheese to make a rainbow cheese toasted sandwich. Really gross. Like, who the hell would ever eat that?
Me?
Of course, Dan would eat that.
It's a great idea. I didn't even know that was a thing you could do.
What was that?
Dye cheese.
Yeah, I didn't know that too until I did it on this incredibly realistic video game, and then I found out it was real. The other thing it does, and I don't know if it's done this in all the other games, but it definitely does it in this one. Once you've finished your meal, it prompts you to take Instagram photos of it and then post it for likes. And you get a little chat bubble that pops up next to it with all the different likes coming up for you.
Oh my God. We're about to see the toasted sandwich.
I was going to say that is a new thing in this one, the whole like Instagram sharing thing.
I thought it might be.
Yeah, I played I think I played the original on the DS when I was a little kid. And my little sister and I had it, and I remember playing it. It's fun enough as it is. Like,
yeah, it is pretty fun. Like, one of the coolest things is I can play it with my kids. So my kids two of my kids are quite young. So just by doing the hand movements and things like that, look how good Dan loves this. They can get into it, and so it's a bit of fun to have with them and stuff like that as well. That looks so gross.
So you can make food and then like position it in different positions on the plate, and then is it a hypothetical Instagram, or does it go to actual Instagram?
No, it's a hypothetical Instagram, as far as I can aware, unless I've just started up a new account and don't even know it, which is quite possible. But yeah, so you get different backgrounds. You can have that's a fancy. That's called fancy. So it's like a restaurant. There's diner. There's a picnic. There's mama's kitchen. And you can add stickers and things like that to them as well, to the pictures. As you go along and do each recipe, you can unlock each new recipes, and there's everything from toasted sandwiches to rice bowls to burgers to Asian food that I'm not really sure how to pronounce or what it is, but it looks
okonomiyaki.
Yep, that's the one. That was one.
Bless you.
Weirdest thing about it that I've found so far, failing doesn't really matter. So like you can
sounds like a typical Nintendo game, actually.
Yeah, you can destroy this cheese toasted sandwich, fail it on every step that you have to do, and then she still goes yay, and then you get to take a photo of a perfectly cooked sandwich, which is odd. Everything you do gets rated into 3 stars, and surprisingly though, 40 hours to complete this game.
What?
40 hours, and that's not like that's what I looked it up on How Long to Beat, where they usually give you a main story plus extras, and completionists. This is just 40 hours straight up for the whole game.
Jesus,
I can't imagine myself putting 40 hours into this thing, but it is what it is. It has copped a little bit of flack by being pretty much, I think it's almost like a carbon copy of the last version of the game,
and a crypto mining currency Ponzi scheme. Yeah, which was disproven anyway. But
I haven't played the others anyway, so I've actually found it quite fun. I don't know how much time will sink into it, but it's a fun little escape with the kids.
Very nice.
I'll give it 2 toasted sandwiches.
2. I give it 1 big okonomiyaki.
Yes, me too.
News.
Should we? Yeah, I was going to say, should we move on to the news now? Everyone has went
Read the room, Dan. Jesus. Right, breaking news here. We saw just a mere 20 or so hours ago the Series X from Xbox Direct, or the 2020. First of all, what the hell is up with Microsoft's marketing department? First of all, we get the Xbox 360, Xbox One X, Xbox XL, baby. And then 2020, what does that mean? Besides the fact reminding us that 2020 is the worst year ever.
It's a 20/20. I didn't even know what that means. Is that 20 out of 20? Like we got.
I think it's 2020 vision is
full
the
scores.
General connotation. I don't know what they were trying to do. Anyway, Xbox marketing. What the hell? So we were promised some gameplay. And we were promised a closer look at what's coming to Series X in the latter part of the year. We promised a lot. We got a lot of in-game cutscenes. Like there was a little bit of gameplay, but from what I could see, there wasn't a lot of exclusives. There was no Halo, which was silly. It was well put together, apart from as Imran from Kind of Funny tweeted out just before we went live. He said, "Hey, Microsoft, you're a $1 trillion company. Buy your executives a Blue Yeti," which I thought was.
Yeah,
hey,
mate,
what do you guys
I can
think?
afford one.
We all watched it.
So
Those setups were shocking.
It was.
I think I watched the whole thing and I went, that was all right. And then I went, hang on, no, it wasn't. That was supposed to be the review of the next gen graphics. And when you think back to it, well, hang on, was there any next gen graphics in that whole thing? That vampire one was a joke. Did you see what was that called?
Oh, it looked like
Vampire
PS3
Masquerade, Bloodlines 2.
Yeah, they looked like, and that game didn't even like the first version of that wasn't cartoony, and like I have terrible character models. This is supposed to be next gen, and I was like, am I just looking at like indie Game Pass games? Like I was like, oh no, there were, but don't get me wrong, there was a couple of great games in there, like which we will go over, but. Overall, I was a little bit disappointed, and I was like, "Come on!" It also like jaded me. I'm just going to mention this that when I was waiting for it, to come into it to start, the chat was so toxic. The Xbox fanboys were so horrible, just in the waiting room. Like they were just like they were talking more about PS5 and how much they hate PS5 more than how much they love Xbox. Which it is like, and then they just started spooling out.
Last of Us 2 spoilers.
Last of Us 2 spoilers. And I'm like, why? And I was like, I saw stuff I shouldn't have seen. And they did it in ways so it's only 2 words. So you can see it. And I turned it off. And I was like, F you, bloody turkey dickheads.
Alien Juggernaut. I thought that was a real weird one. Anyway, Braden, what did you think of the whole Sexbox reveal?
Yeah, so I checked this out this afternoon. Watching the up on YouTube version of it, the not live version, and avoided all comment sections after seeing you guys chat in our Discord saying that it was disgusting in there. My expectations were nothing, and they were met. When this whole thing's like, okay, cool. My thing with it is the entire time they're hyping up, we're going to be the first, we're going to show you some Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay. And I'm like, sweet, cool. I can't wait to get to that. Like, that's going to be dope. And we're seeing all this new stuff. And I'm like, cool. We're seeing all this new stuff. About halfway through, it was when I was looking up other stuff at the same time. And I saw it was apparently announced beforehand that it was all just third-party people, but the messaging there wasn't super clear to some. So a lot of people were like, hey, where is Halo? Where is all the big stuff that we want
where was
from
Halo?
the Xbox stuff?
Where was Halo?
Halo will be its own thing.
They did mention that it was not going to have any Halo on it. They weren't ready to show that. They are doing one of these each month on the lead up to launch. So each month we're going to get a 2020. So I understand not wanting to come out of the gate with your full load, but you also have to. Sometimes I say things just to see the reactions of everyone else. So I can understand them holding off, but come on, just show us a snippet of Halo. Show us that it exists beyond cinematic trailers.
Well, what I've got from it, I watched it and I was like, that didn't seem like games they were super keen to show us. It just seemed like games that they had.
Yeah.
Like not games they wanted to show, just games that they had. Like, we've got this to show. Let's just put this up. But
Dirt 5 looked alright.
yeah, I was gonna say, but we will get into some the nitty gritty of some of the actual games in a sec. But not to say that it was all bad and all the games are bad. It was just that the announcement, the way they did it was bad. It's not to say all the games are bad. I'm going to put myself on record saying that. Like, some of them look great, and we're going to get into the ones that I still pitched a tent over some of them. Don't worry.
I was going to say one thing where I was going to like this is the thing that I think we're going to really struggle with getting into this next gen stuff and showing it off to people, especially when it's now going to be all over the internet. You can't really show off graphics over a stream because stream speeds and like everyone's download speeds to view the stream, if you're not watching on like a 4K, like everything done perfectly, like you can't really get a grasp for the new stuff they're bringing in this next generation.
No, well, also, we've discussed this before, and it was brought up today in an IGN article by Tom Marks. This is going to be the first console generation where we don't see that astronomical leap in graphics because, I mean, how far can we go? All right, when back in the old PlayStation 1 days and the PlayStation 2 days and the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube, you looked at those graphics and going, oh, holy smoke. But, you know, the Xbox Series X especially is like a really, really high-end PC now. Like, we're not going to see that graphical jump. So loading times and gameplay are going to be the big things that jump from this generation. And I think a lot of people thought they were going to get their eye sockets blown out of their face because that sentence makes much more sense. Good work, Ben.
Still going strong.
Thank you. Because they assumed there was going to be that next graphical leap, but you can't. Short of holograph technology, this is what you got.
The problem, and also I think the problem is with it is that we've had this thing happening, this global disaster. Console places have announced that they're not going to be able to make as many consoles at the moment. So then you got these game developers that are like, oh, well, why would I make a game for Series X or PlayStation 5 when there's only going to be a limited amount of consoles, which means the limited amount of sales can possibly happen when you've got a zillion people with a PlayStation or an Xbox.
That's the official number.
Yeah,
a billion zillion PlayStation 4s sold.
Yeah,
there's about 17 Xboxes.
Yeah, we got
billion zillion.
You got say you got 1 million people will buy the new one, but then you've got like 17 million that have the old one. I'm clearly going to want to. I'll just make my game for my old system, and they're like, no, don't. Why don't you make it for both? And then they've done that for one person. Now everyone's like, oh, we want those sales as well. And then like, I don't know if this is how it works. Like I said, I'm not an expert in marketing or anything like that, but like, if I was a game developer bringing my game out around about now, I'd want it on both consoles. Therefore, if your game has to be on both consoles, it has to be able to run on both consoles. So how much of a leap can the new version have? Because it has to be able to run on the old consoles. So that means it can only theoretically have a graphic leap, not a whole world leap. You know what I mean? Not a thing. Because I would expect the new consoles when they come out that the game of the old generation could not run on it. Like, it shouldn't be able to run on the old generation game, the new generation stuff. It should be so far advanced that it just makes the other one shit itself as soon as it even gets.
But you got to remember as well, we had mid-generation upgrades. We had the PS4 Pro and we had the Series 1X, whatever it was. So it's not like a full skip. They had those 4 years and then bought out a console, and now you have an extra 3 years. So yes, I understand where you're coming from, but there is that intermediate jump that we haven't had before. And I honestly think that halfway through this generation is when we'll start to see all those graphical upgrades. And just for the record, the PS4 has reached 106 million units sold. Not a billion squillion.
I was going to say one other thing quickly before we get into actually talking about our thoughts on like what they showed off, like games wise. Like, I think this is a weird time where, we're not going to be focusing on graphics, but they're also not actually showing us anything yet of like, hey, here's some comparisons for load times and here's all this stuff, because those are the things that are going to be getting a massive leap in this sense. So I'm hoping that in next month's thing, since they're doing this each month, a new thing, like they show off like, hey, this is how fast all of our shit's going to load, because they haven't shown that yet. And that's like their new thing.
Mm.
They need to show some side by sides of that happening, load screens, rendering in game, that sort of stuff that can actually show exactly what the difference is,
True.
as opposed to showing just a thing that you assume is better.
And theoretically, we are back. Whether it's working on Twitch, we don't know.
Welcome back to Hack the Dino, episode 96 of The Critical Path, where nothing goes wrong and everyone's happy. We're talking about Series X reveal before the break, and now we're going to go into some of the games that they did reveal. I will say, just before we go into that, though, however, at least they showed us something, because Sony, what the hell?
Yeah, true. That's very true.
Sony showed nothing. Nothing. We have nothing.
You know
no
what,
thing.
They
You know
keep doing these
things?
things.
You know things, all right?
I've seen things.
You've seen things. We all know of things, right? Xbox has some things. Nintendo has some things. There's lots of things everywhere.
Twitch is working.
Sony has no things.
Twitch is working. Just putting it out there.
Sony doesn't even have Twitch. They have nothing.
You know what they do have, though? They have the fan base already, because every time that this happens, Xbox bring out something, they show lots of stuff, they do all these, people talk about it for a week. Sony goes, "Oh, here's a controller," and everyone forgets Xbox. It is gone.
Oh, yeah, that's what I say that every week. It's such a balancing act at the moment. Everyone's at equal footing, and if one person just does an announcement, they're like, "Yeah, I'm better than you," and the next person goes, "We got a controller." We're like, "Oh, far out, controller!" And then like, it just goes like that, and it's just like, and it is it's all just bloody it's just a matter of what you like. It doesn't matter. Like the fanboy culture is so gross.
I was going to say on the fanboy culture as well. Like even you guys were saying, the chat for this Xbox stream was filled with stuff about PlayStation stuff. Like what? What are they thinking?
There's your advertising.
Yeah,
But I reckon everyone needs, like, they just need to sit down and work out their little calls for help, or a Call of the Sea, which is one of the games we saw on the Xbox. You should see the thumbs up I'm getting off screen.
We're finally going to talk about some games.
One of the Series X games we saw. So the first one I'd like to talk about is Call of the Sea. Dan, have we got some footage there?
Yeah.
This is a first-person adventure game set in the 1930s as you play a character called Nora as she explores a South Pacific island in search of her missing husband. So this is very much, I think, a walking sim in the line of Gone Home, What Remains of Edith Finch, those types of games. Basically, games Ben likes to play. So I was very excited about this. It looks great. And I love an old island adventure.
I was going to say, are you expecting like adventure game elements to it where like you're like solving stuff, or?
I think it'll just be a puzzle walking sim.
Well,
I'm not expecting much else.
What percentage of these games that they showed are Series X games? Did they say they were all on Series X?
They're all on Series X. Some of them had the little, what are they calling it? The shared play, the cross play, whatever it is.
Smart delivery?
Smart delivery. The Smart Delivery logo came up on some of them. So, for example, not Yakuza. What was it? It was, I think...
Yakuza.
Yeah, it's the French one.
Mate.
The French Yakuza. Well, for example, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I think, came up with the Switch play or whatever it was. But Call of the Sea, that was one that perked my interest a lot. Anyone else have any thoughts on that before I move on?
I thought it didn't look good enough.
I mean, for a Series X thing, it just looks like it could run on anything.
It looked like it looked like a little bit more detailed Fortnite. Like I was just like,
So they've already said there is going to be no Series X exclusive games for the first year.
Yep.
Does that mean they're all cross backwards,
Yes.
smart delivery action?
Yes.
Yep.
Far out. What a bunch of pelicans, mate. What are they doing?
So yeah, smart delivery is the thing where if you have it'll come out on what's the current one? One.
1X?
It'll come out on the 1X.
The sex.
And then it'll come then when the sex comes out, then it'll come out on the sex. So right now it's on the bone, and then it'll come out if you've got it on the bone, then when the sex comes out, if you get a sex.
So Scarlet Nexus is the next game coming out. And it's described as a psychokinetic, Oh,
Dude.
gosh. Yuto Sumagari is a psychokinetic, whatever that is, in the city of New Himuka. It's a place where technology and psychic abilities are used to wage war.
This looks sick. This was my tent picture. This. Look at this. This is like.
Okay, I'm going to make a rule. I'm the only one who's allowed to do euphemisms.
This looks like.
Can we do
God of War?
innuendos?
This looks like God of War, Bayonetta, Astral. What's the other one? What was that one called?
Astral Chain.
Astral Chain, all mixed in with this unbelievably good-looking anime style. Like the anime characters in this look so good, and everything. I was just so interested. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Please note to be a JRPG," and it wasn't. It was a smasher upper, which is what I wanted it to be. Like, look at this guy. He looks great. Like,
I was gonna say the one thing that sold me on it was this guy with his face thing and the
Look at him.
like tech stuff, and it looks dope.
And like not based on any other anime. And then you see the actual fights. Look at that. Throwing a car on someone. You can always win throwing like what is it? Physics based like power projectiles is at one stage he throws a train at someone and I was like, I'm down. I am so down with lobbing a train at some weird pot plant, man. And look and then the music in this, which we can't hear, was so on point.
Oh, the piano in this was gorgeous.
Oh man, like look at this stuff happening. So yeah, this was obviously a very me game. To me, this does look like the next jump in graphics because anime styles, like this have always looked not that good. Do you know what I mean? Like this looks like perfect.
Am I the only person that thinks it has 3 or 4 different art styles on the screen at the same time?
No.
I think they're definitely playing with the cell shading. It's certainly the nicest looking cell shading I've seen from a game. You know how some cell shaded games you get that just the I might even be the ray tracing, but the lighting never really sits right. It's always either too bright or too dark. They don't really get that good mesh, whereas I think this has got very, very good blending in with the backgrounds and the characters and the lighting. I think it just looks really, really good. Really good.
The Game Boy Dad thinks, oh no, that might have been like the other game he's talking about. It looks like a 360 game.
Yeah, that was the first one he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. And then
I have the opposite opinion of that one than you, Ben. Like I think all the styles are way too different and it made it look heaps
that's fair enough.
Disjointed.
That is a fair enough assumption. I did think that is,
but this is the internet, so I have to disagree and like insult him or something.
Dude, don't make me yell out last of your spoilers at you for no reason.
Okay, next game we're going to talk about is one called Scorn, and I thought Dan might like to play this.
Dude, I'm all
not
over
Braden.
This is a first.
This is a cinematic nothing, and it gave me the willies.
He gave me the willies.
It's a first-person horror adventure. Very Geiger looking. Look at all those phalluses.
As someone who is a Geiger expert, a Giger, it is very, very, very him.
Did you just refer to yourself as a Giga?
A Giger expert. I'm a Giger.
Geeker.
Dan's on the forum posts and the fandom tumblers and everything for the HR Giga phalluses.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
so
festy.
So the weird thing about this game is this has been in my Steam wish list for 2 years now. There is like 40 minutes of gameplay footage of this game online that you can just see has been out for ages. I don't know why they didn't do like a gameplay trailer.
Because they weren't showing anyone gameplay. They were showing in-game captures. I think we got gameplay from the first one we talked about, the Call of the Sea, and I think from Scarlet Nexus as well. But this one, it was just this cutscene that we're watching now. Sorry, podcast listeners. Oh. And that was it. I mean, nice to say this is it. But when Dan said that this has been on his Steam watch for a while, I again went, oh, man, why? We're not getting any next gen.
It's not even new stuff. Like, this is something that's been in development for 2 years already. Like,
not just in development, but like out in the wild.
This game, when you play it, is so rad. Like, see that there's a little like face that you snap on. Like, all your guns are organic, and they like have mouths, and they mouth onto each other, and you pull bits and put them onto each other. I can't believe they didn't show any of that stuff. Like,
I'm legit gonna vomit.
Yeah,
this is disgusting.
That's great. Okay, so moving along, we're going to go to Second Extinction, which is a co-op first-person shooter where you just have dinosaurs running at your face, and it's your job to not let them eat said face by blowing them away with your big bullets out of your big old guns. So from my understanding, dinosaurs have we recloned them and they took over, just like Jurassic Park, and now we have to clear the earth of all the Deinonychuses.
This is just like Left 4 Dead with dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Like, I'm fine with that, but like, it's not a new idea, and it doesn't even look. I mean, it looks okay. That looks okay actually if it's online because it says team up. But yeah, you see the hordes coming, and I'm like, Left 4 Dead. There's 3 of you. You know, look at this, Left 4 Dead.
I like in the chat we've got Turok 2020.
Yes.
I'd play that.
Yeah, who wouldn't play Turok 2020?
I think we would.
Needs more mist.
I did like the amount of gore in this game, though. Like, you see the dinosaurs blowing up everywhere, bits and pieces, legs going everywhere, and I'm like, yeah, man. Imagine
I
blowing
would have
up.
liked it if it was flipped. You play a dinosaur, and you've got humans coming to try and capture you, and you just eat them. That'd
Give
be
it
great.
12
I
more
wonder if
days,
that-
mate, and you can
I
be
wonder if-
man-eater.
I wonder if that will be like actually one of the gameplay elements of it, because Left 4 Dead ended up having that multiplayer mode where you could be the humans and you could also play as the zombies. So I wonder if they'll do that with the dinos.
And as for Floppy's comment before about man-eater, sorry, I said I wanted to be a dinosaur, not a dino boar.
Oh,
It's a shark.
It's a shark.
Yeah, but it's going to be a boring game.
Dude,
Yeah.
you can turn into the Megalodon, an armored,
saying.
like, dinosaur shark.
But this is the internet.
A little
Freaking
aside.
sharks with
Have you
freaking
seen the
lasers
story
on
for
their
Man-Eater?
heads.
You actually are a shark who's got this raging thirst for a shark hunter called Scaly Pete because he killed your shark mum.
That's Jaws. Isn't that Jaws 2? Like, no, Jaws 3, he goes around the world, like, chasing certain people. And there's a bit where you can see in Jaws, they're, like, in an aeroplane, and they're talking, and it pans out, and the shark's following the aeroplane.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
this is what. See, Man-Eater, get on it.
Something else you can get on is The Medium. It's another Dan game, I feel. In this game, you travel through the real world and the spirit realm, with each world having music composed by 2 different artists. The spirit world's composed by Silent Hill composer Akira Yamaoka. I'm sorry. I know he's a listener to the show. But the Silent Hill composer
Oh, it just started raining really hard.
developed this game. Atmospheric.
This game looks so spooky as well. Yuck. I mean, visually, like graphically, like this is cinematics, so it's not gameplay. But it is pretty and it's spooky, and the logo is my favorite part of it.
I got some Control vibes from the stuff that we saw.
Ooh. So we're experiencing the Adelaide internet rain right now. So we got a lot of lacking in syncing, but that's fine. I actually thought this game looked amazing. I didn't like the first half of the trailer at all. I was like, what's this? Like some sort of heavy rain, and then as soon as it cut into like double worlds, the Silent Hill like composer. So, and it's got that vibe. Like Silent Hill had 2 worlds. You could go between like the stuffed up rusty world and this one. I'm like, is this going to be something awesome? Wow, that is so loud, that rain. Hey, I apologize.
We can hear it a little bit. It's not too bad.
All right, cool.
I just got it.
So you got this guy that came up now, and then it goes into, it shows actual gameplay from now on. And the end half of this trailer was really where it sold me. I was like, oh yeah, this looks like a next-gen game. This looks like this is what the kind of stuff they should be showing. Not bloody Vampire's Dinner Party with a whole bunch of terrible like cartoon models. What was that one
It
called?
looked like The Sims.
Vampire Masquerade.
Yeah, Vampire Masquerade. We're not even showing footage of that because it looks so bad. You can see here,
Think of The Sims with
That's not.
vampires.
I chose the ones that I thought would appeal to each of us, not that it looked bad.
Gotta say though, the logo and
That?
I assume that's the cover art. Like that's freaking brilliant. That's well done.
yeah, it looks great. That'll be definitely one I'll grab. And if it's got added violence in it, if there's gore and stuff like that, bloody awesome, mate.
Well, if you want gore, Dan, maybe you'd like to play a little game called Yakuza Like a Dragon. That's right. It's another Yakuza game that's been out in Japan since January this year, but it's coming to next-gen consoles because why not? Yeah, Dan, you're a Yakuza fan. I'm not.
I got this trailer off of the PlayStation site. This is right. So yeah, I was going to say, well, this doesn't excite me. I just found this trailer on every console. Why is this on the Xbox? Like them trying to make it look like this is their great game when there's already a trailer out for it for PlayStation.
And is out on PlayStation in another country where you could probably import it and, get some subtitles for it.
Is this going to be the first Yakuza game on Xbox? Or did number 6 come out on Xbox? I don't think it did.
No, I think you're right.
I think this is the first time it's ventured off a PlayStation.
So this is what they're doing at the moment, in my opinion. Xbox doesn't have, Japanese people are a lot of gamers, and that's where games come from. They don't like Microsoft, they don't like Xbox. But I've noticed in Game Pass recently, Game Pass has got all the Yakuza games are suddenly popping up in Game Pass. So you get a whole bunch of them on Game Pass now. So they're really trying to, I think, get that. Yeah, they're all on there. So you can get I think they're trying to get that Japanese audience to come over a bit. Come on, we got Yakuza. Yeah, we're not all dickheads. We're not only some of us. I think I think we will see a lot more Japanese orientated games that they're trying to get over on Game Pass, and that is another thing that that's an Xbox logo, a PlayStation.
I love that you only took it from the PlayStation YouTube. That's the best.
Why not? I thought it was funny. I did that on purpose. I wanted to show you guys that I actually did.
I was super keen for this until I found out it was turn-based.
Yeah, well, do you know what's so weird? The trailers, I couldn't find any footage of the actual fighting part of it, and I was like,
I've never seen it either.
But yeah. So I love Yakuza. I haven't played this one yet. This one looks like it's more comedy. Did you see him with his he's he's got power bats and stuff like that? It seems
I think they're going away with the old storyline as well. I think the original Yakuza character is done. At least he's not the main protagonist in this game. They're going with a whole different cast of characters.
He might have just gone for his just done his career in slot car racing with other children.
Speaking of, oh no, you said other. Bright Memory Infinite is a game that Dan wanted to throw in here. I was unsure, but this is what kicked off the stream for us. I was impressed by it because there's a DeLorean in there.
Yeah, well, look at this game. Right? Watch what's happening here. You're in the future, and then as you're playing, it goes into it looks like it goes from feudal Japan. It warps in time as you're playing. And look at these graphics, man. This is next gen graphics. Look how much shit's going on. There's
Vanquish.
Yeah, there's wind going. There's everything. And as you're playing, if you look here, you've got a grappling hook, which is very Bulletstorm. You can see here. He smashes down, and now he's fighting a Roman in Roman times. He's got a sword, brings out the sword, slashes a dude up, grapples him, pulls out a gun, shoots him, chops his arm off, and then he's going between times. And I'm like, this is sick. Look how much stuff is happening.
Yeah, this was the game that did start off, and I was like, okay, this is actually freaking dope. Also, apparently, one dude made this.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yep.
One dude. That name at the start, it's like this one Asian dude, and he's like the person who made this game.
Sweet. There's the DeLorean because it's a time travel thing. Yeah, but this game looks cool. I was excited about this. And last but not least, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to talk about the stream and everything just after this, but we only saw in-game footage, and this was one of the ones they were saying, come back, check back for the Xbox thing to see gameplay. And we didn't see gameplay.
It's not gameplay. I don't see any HUDs. That's the only thing I care about with these games. I just want to see the HUD, what the game looks like as you're playing it. I don't care if it's done in the game engine or the gameplay. I want the actual game. What does it look like? No one knows.
All of these shots of the Viking longboats and stuff, those are all okay, cool. It's in game. Show me what it looks like. I want to see what it looks like when I'm playing it.
Because if anyone knows, in any game that's got a photo mode, you can take a photo in a game or get an angle that looks better than the game. Do you know what I mean? This is that they've chosen these angles, they've got the spots of the game, which is the perfect lighting, the angles and all that cinematic looks, but that's not what the game looks like, I'm afraid.
Yeah, that's at best it's a QuickTime cutscene, which they even do anymore.
QuickTime
Some
event.
games do.
Yeah, I don't like QuickTime events.
But it's still, this game looks great. It's going to be great. I just wish they showed some footage of it. Like they were like, oh, you want to see what the next game looks like or what? Yeah, and that show it, and then they didn't show it.
The entire rest of the stream had like little like subheadings underneath saying like, stay tuned, Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay, first up, coming soon. And like you'd wait the whole time, like they keep showing this thing, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited for gameplay. No.
It never showed it in the end, did it?
No gameplay at all. So I think overall they've got a lot of room to improve for the next one next month. So we'll be reporting on that when it goes live.
Then again, you got PlayStation doing nothing as well, and Switch, Nintendo doing nothing. No one's trying. They've just given up. They've just like,
they've given up, or there's a global pandemic going. I don't know, something like that.
Xbox has done their thing. Now, in a week or so, PlayStation will show us the new charge cable for the controller, and everyone will forget about Xbox again.
Look, we got a battery pack.
A rumble pack.
Ooh, that's it. Everything will be about that. What a wicked charge cable.
Floppy, like A+ for that, because that was brilliant.
Okay, I want to go back and talk about the reveal that happened last week for Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yes, please.
Now, they dropped the stream out of nowhere. Yep. It was just sort of like, I remember getting up in the morning and a message from Floppy just saying, hey, Ubisoft is streaming the Assassin's Creed reveal. Oh, okay. So I turned it on and they had...
Is it the art one?
Oh, who's the artist? Is it 8-Bit Boy or something like that?
Boss Logic.
Boss Logic, thank you. Boss Logic, who is a very well-known internet artist who does a lot of work for a lot of internet-based things. Anyway, they got him to draw the poster over an 8-hour stream or something. So you actually saw him piecing it all together in Photoshop and drawing it live, and it was great. So you finally got to see the Vikings get revealed.
I gotta say, when I saw you send that message through, Floppy, I was struggling to get to sleep because it was like the middle of the night. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll jump in and have a look. And I should have been asleep. And I looked and I was like, oh, okay. Like, and it was only focusing on this one tiny bit in the right side. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay. So it's like medieval England. Like, and that was all I got from it. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I went to bed. And then I woke up and it's like, no, it's freaking Vikings, and I'm hype as hell.
Apparently, the chat's saying that the artist was an Australian as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah,
That's
follow him on
very cool.
Instagram. He does heaps of like fandom stuff and like if this guy fought this guy, like his edits are brilliant. Go follow him on Instagram. Boss Logic.
So Boss Logic. Now we did mention before as well that during the Xbox live stream as well as during the Assassin's Creed Valhalla reveal, people were talking about the Last of Us Part 2 leaks, which I guess we should touch on. But firstly, can we play the new trailer, the new storyline?
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
Oh, there we go. I was just trying to get
I
it to
haven't
work.
seen
There
this.
There's no spoilers, Floppy. Oh, you haven't seen it yet? You don't want it spoiled?
No, I'm going dark.
Dude, it doesn't show you anything, eh?
I mean, it kind of does, you know.
Spoiler, Ellie and Joel are in it.
Whoa, that rain is back again.
So it's really, really a beautiful trailer, and I really, really, really enjoyed it and thought it was really, really good. But I do want to talk about this whole spoiler culture that the internet seems to be on. Why? What do you get out of spoiling something for other people?
It's because they have no control in their own life, and they just need to feel like they have some sort of kind of control. So they feel that if they can ruin something for someone else, they are controlling that whole situation. And yeah, they probably had stuff ruined for them in the past, and they want to get revenge on those people. Blah blah blah. It's just a vicious cycle of idiocy.
I know, but on the other hand as well, you ever heard of the phrase, it's the journey, not the destination? So just for me, I would rather, it's about experience the storyline for me. So even if you spoil it per se, or if, we live in a spoiler-free, well, not spoiler-free, but a spoiler-liberal world now where people, as Dan said, like to take control back by spoiling it for others.
People.
On the other hand, if you sort of take that power back, I guess, and just get the game for the journey that you're about to go on, that's how you invest in these characters. It's not because you're just watching these 3D images on a screen. You're investing in the characters, and it's the storyline leading up to the destination that you invest in. So yes, it's upsetting, but if it does get spoiled for you, don't cancel your pre-order. Don't do things that are going to impact the creators, because they've worked years on this, and to have it spoiled by a couple of hackers is just devastating for them, and I feel really, really bad for them.
But that's what those people are like. Like, we never. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you say don't spoil it for people. There's always going to be like turkey gobblers out there that do that kind of stuff. Like, there's always going to be like, you can't win. You can't win against the internet, Ben. That's why it's better just to ignore the internet. We shouldn't even be giving them a. We shouldn't even be talking about them. We should just be like buggering.
The wholesome part about that trailer drop, though, for me, was that I didn't see it from PlayStation or from Naughty Dog. I saw it from Troy Baker. Like, he shared it like a day before. He was like, "Hey, this is coming out soon. I just wanted to share it." And then, then I started seeing it from PlayStation, and then I saw it from Troy himself, like sharing it out, and I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet."
Saw it from Troy himself. He came over for a quiche.
Yeah. He
just in the kitchen and said, "Oh, hey, Braden, I got you some pancakes. While you're there, I've put the Last of Us 2 trailer there for you.
Yeah,
give
and
it
I was
a watch. Tell me what you think,
mate. Maybe you should post that somewhere. I mean, other people might want to see that."
You'd be like, "Yeah, as soon as I finish cooking up some Soda Stream."
No,
Soda
Floppy,
Stream?
we've been through this. You don't cook Soda Stream.
That's why I always get it wrong.
Do you know what else is wrong? The fact that Nintendo's cancelled their Nintendo Direct for June, which was their supposed E3 big reveal. Again, another death knell for the time period where more and more companies go, "Hey, we don't need E3." But yeah, due to the global situation, they are not doing it anymore. And we've just got what that E3 may look like playing for everyone on the screen.
So you tricked
Is this a fan made done?
You tricked me. This is an April Fool's thing, and it says like at the start it was like, "Oh, we're bringing Wind Waker out on Switch," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, it seems legit and fine. Like, cool. I really want to play Wind Waker." And he's like, "Oh, that was an April Fool's," and I got all angry. I'm like, "Why is that an April Fool's?" Like, I understand the end of this is an April Fool's. Like, it goes stupid, but the start was, I thought, was that the first half was real and the joke was at the end. And I assume we're back.
We're back.
Hello, people. We're back. The internet cut out. Look at this. This is exactly where this is. So the internet completely froze, and this freeze frame, where it's frozen, is going to show you what happened.
So it wasn't me. It was Dan and his dodgy internet. But we're back here, and we're here to talk more about Ion Fury, which is coming to Switch digitally on May 14. Dan, you streamed this game, and it was awesome.
I am. I'm just trying to get it started up now.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about how it used to be called Iron Maiden, but it got changed because the real band Iron Maiden sued them. Even though it wasn't spelt the same, and even though they're not a rock band from the 1920s, yeah.
And even though an Iron Maiden is an actual thing, like, it's not like they made that word up. It's an actual device.
Are they suing like history books and stuff? Like,
Looks like Quake.
Yeah.
Thanks, Floppy. Yes. So
Sorry.
they. I like Tangelos. So they. Dan, talk us through this game. It's a great game from 3D Realms.
Yeah, so basically this is a remake from 3D... not a remake. This is a new game brought out in the style of 90s first-person shooters. I should put me on there. It is a great, smooth game. It's fun. It's got that... The humor is on point. You can kick heads around. You can... You know, all the cool things that you could do in those, like, 90s first-person shooters. But in the time when, like, Duke Nukem 3D, Blood, all those games are the things that, you know, people love. They've made a new game today set in that style. And it works really good. It's a really fun... You can see... really fun game. And as I said, it used to be called Iron Maiden, then Iron Maiden, the band, sued them, and now they're called... and now it's called Iron Fury. And it's Iron, I-O-N, like ion, like as in like the ions. But yeah, so great game. There you go.
So keep your eye on that one.
there you go. That's a segue.
And also this one, because Mortal Kombat 11 is bringing out some new story DLC, as well as new levels and music and characters. This dropped out of nowhere with a teaser, and I sort of went, wait, what?
I haven't finished Mortal Kombat, so I don't know what's going on, but why does Liu Kang have sweet white tattoos?
Because he controls.
Don't back there.
All right, no spoiler zone.
No spoilers. But anyway, at the end of the last story, we all know what happened, those of us who actually finished it. And then at the start of this trailer, Shang Tsung comes in with Fujin and Shiva, who are two characters who are returning.
I thought they were air conditioner models.
They are. They're joined by...
Just continue.
The Aircon 5000. Anyway, so new storyline content, new levels. The Deadpool is coming back, which you'll remember from Mortal Kombat 2, where you could uppercut your opponent into a lake of acid. And the Soul Chamber from, I think, Mortal Kombat 3.
Can I just say, like, Shang Tsung, the guy who came in there, he's in these at cutscenes, he's endearing and nice, and I like him. Did you get that from this?
Yeah, I think that's what you're supposed to get from that. Like every character in Mortal Kombat goes face heel, good guy, bad guy, all the time. Like Shiva's a good person now, from what I took from this as well.
Yeah, she looks like it. Smashing people.
Is Shang Tsung the guy that was talked about in the first game but wasn't actually in the first game?
He was there, but he was a character in a cutscene. And then in the first round of DLC, he became a playable character. He's actually voiced by the guy who played Shang Tsung in the very first original Mortal Kombat movie, which is why it's kind of a big deal. So, speaking of big deals, they revealed a character right at the end.
Which is...
And that character... There's none other.
Wait, we should wait. We should just let it naturally.
It's pretty close to coming up.
Here we go.
I got to say, before we talk about it, you guys nutted. Like, you guys went insane.
Well, see, Brayden, when the movie came out with the character...
Here we go.
When he was revealed, that movie came out, what, in the 80s? Late 80s?
Here we go.
So here he is. This man here is coming for a good old time.
Oh my God.
And so
Robocop.
Look at that pose.
So, Brandon, we were about 10 or 11 when Robocop came out. And for a lot of us, this is our first experience with gore and brutality and a cool man who becomes a robot and fights crime. And that cool man is Peter Weller, and he also voices Robocop in this game.
Amazing.
Oh, yes. That is amazing.
Now, I mentioned...
But more importantly, what do they have in there, Ben? Which is I like.
Yep. Something that wasn't well thought of in Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 3 were friendships instead of fatalities, because they were a little bit lame.
What about babalities? Remember them?
All right, they were really bad. But friendships have made a return, and they're possibly the best thing in the game. Like, I will want to do these. We've got Noob Sabot here for the podcast listeners. He splits, and he starts doing skipping rope stunts. If you haven't seen these, please go and check them out.
But it's not just he does. He's not.
Oh my God! It's not the full dance and everything.
Yeah, he's not just skipping. He's like actual, like proper dance skipping, which is amazing. And he looks so funny.
I'm getting wicked jump rope for heart vibes.
And
then we've got Kano here, who goes to do his fatality, which is just a friendship, and he sparks up a barbecue.
No, dude, that's an Australian Weber.
Oh yes, you're right, because Kano's Australian now for reasons.
Yeah,
mate.
And he cooks up a bar. Do you know what I found weird about these friendships though? Like, he doesn't then give him a sausage. Like, you know, he does, they don't react. Like, it should have been that he brought the skipping guy in to skip with him as a friendship, and Kano should make that dude a sausage. You know what I mean? Like,
we've got Scorpion now going, get over here, and bringing in a big old teddy for a big old hug.
I've noticed that they've made Scorpion's face look like the Scorpion from the new movie.
No, there's again storyline that I'm not going to spoil.
Yeah.
There as well. But Sub-Zero's one I really like because he gets all giddy and goes and runs off, and then he comes back on an ice cream tricycle, and he goes and opens up the ice cream compartment, pulls out a paddle pop stick, and then makes an ice cream, and then starts flying it around like an aeroplane, going. Woo.
I love how long they go for. Like,
I know. And this they've ramped up the lameness level to just pristine. Like Mortal Kombat, they've just nailed. It's the best version of that game.
I was going to say, this is the second I saw that they added Robocop, and from all of their other stuff they've already done, and then adding friendships in and making them hilarious. The one thing I thought was, these guys know their audience so well.
Yep. Speaking of knowing your audience so well, do you know what our audience loves? Our audience loves bargains and stuff that costs them less money. So that's why we've got a little segment we like to call Deals.
Jill's then like the mic cut out and went like.
It also threw me because you usually yell out deals as soon as the intro's finished.
Floppy.
Yes, mate.
Deals!
Oh.
All right, what do you got for us, Floppy?
Okay, starting out on the old PlayStation, we got the May PlayStation Plus games. We got City Skylines and Farm Sim.
Bam.
Has anyone played those?
I have, and it wasn't Farm Sim. I really don't get Farm Sim. City Skylines, I've played. That was the game that killed SimCity when EA brought out the new SimCity that they did years ago. City Skylines came out shortly afterwards, and people were really unhappy with SimCity. And City Skylines came out, and it was just like, hey, we're the much better SimCity. And EA went, oh shit! And now everyone loves City Skylines. So, and they've got loads of DLC for it. It's a really great city building game.
I can tell you, one of my staff took home Farm Sim and was playing that, and he said it was the most therapeutic post-work stress relieving thing he could do. He'd get home from work and go and plough some fields.
Plough some fields.
John Deere.
Jump in the old John Deere.
You know, it was the first one that had John Deere, actually.
I've watched streams, like some friends like Natalie Turner streaming this, and it is quite, like relaxing to watch. And you can get a dog, and you can like chain your dog up and stuff, and go plow, reap your wheat, take your wheat down to the shop, sell it, buy a new tractor. It's kind of it's satisfying.
I don't understand how we don't have more viewers. I just don't. I can't place my finger on it. I don't know why. But yeah, farming, good. Simulating life, because that's Floppy. What else we got?
We also got another couple of Japanese style games. We've got Judgment from the same guys that did Yakuzas and all Yakuzas. If you like Yakuzas, you can be a ex-lawyer / private eye that goes around, I believe it's the same city that Yakuza takes place in, and beat up some people and look cool in a leather jacket. And you can do that for like $39-$40, which is down from like $100. That's a wicked deal.
It looks exactly like Yakuza.
Well, it's the same team.
Yeah, but at least try and make it look different.
It's all good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
What are you saying, Dan? You're saying all these games look the same? Are they all the same to you, Dan?
Yeah, definitely these ones.
Cancel, Dan.
The other one we've got is Okami, this must be the 6th, 7th, 20th platform it's been out on, I think, now. The Capcom classic Japanese mythology, folklore. Beautiful, beautiful game. I love that. Like you were talking about cell shading and all that sort of stuff. It just looks, lovely. $13.95 that one's out on there for, so that's nice and cheap. And if you want to bargain, go grab that one.
The old doggy game. Doggo.
Yes, the old doggo.
If you're into your doggos.
Actually, it's a fox. It's a fox god. That's what
Isn't
the
it a
Okami
wolf?
is. Wolf and a fox is the same thing, Floppy.
That's not a fox. That's clearly a dog.
It's a god.
It's Naruto, isn't it?
No, that's a nine-tailed fox.
That's a Pokemon. That's the evolution of...
Have
Anyhow.
we got the Xbox stuff coming to Games Pass? I think we do.
Go for
Xbox
it.
stuff coming to Games Pass. We have one of Dan's favourites, Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, man. This game's sick, eh? Like, such a good game. This shows the power of Games Pass as well. These guys just throw... Like, if you look at, like, the deals for this week, like, for Xbox, they're so good, hey? Like, these are big games that they're giving away for free.
Look, truth be told, I've struggled the past fortnight to not go out and buy an Xbox One S all digital edition. Like, you can still get them for about $300, $350 here, and I've just gone because I really, really want to play some of the games on Games Pass. But speaking to pretty much everyone, they've gone, no, man, just save your money for a Series X. It's all backwards compatible. Yeah. So I'm going to hold out a little bit longer.
Well, the thing is, as well, if you get an Xbox, like, you get heaps more games than on the PC as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Floppy?
You can also get, speaking of big games, huge games, Red Dead 2. So that's coming, I think it was yesterday actually it came out, I think.
Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah, Red Dead 2. So that is a huge, humongous game. If you like slower paced games that have like massive character development and story, Red Dead 2, man, get on that, because to get that for free or for whatever the cost of Games Pass is stupidity. Like that's so much value for money there.
Games Pass is like $5 Australian a month.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I just want to point out here, this is proof that Dan doesn't watch the videos that I put up for him, because I've just chosen all the funny fails from Red Dead 2 to see if he
I saw that. I liked that. Look how funny
you know what my favorite thing that happens in Red Dead 2 is? When you take your horse to the icy areas, the horse's testicles shrink.
What? Really?
Yes. If you ride your horse into like a snow area, his testicles will shrink.
That would happen.
I shit you not.
Okay.
It won't happen in the other game you get on Games Pass, which is DayZ. If you like your survival, horror style, well, not horror, survival adventure style games to go out into a massive online world with everyone else and scrounge for craftable materials and weapons.
This is a huge game to get as well. The footage we're showing here is actually a really old version of the game. I just realized.
Yeah,
this game looks beautiful now. It was the precursor to bloody Fortnite, and now it's you can create. No, that was PUBG. Sorry, I'm getting confused. This is the zombie one, yeah, where you just like the stories I've heard in this game, like people have done, and like there's the ridiculous situations you get in this game. It's such a good game,
this gameplay looks riveting.
Yeah, this is
that zombie is dumb.
Hey, you chose this footage. Let me move it on.
Yeah, you can get on there, meet up with people, form alliances, and survive basically. But yeah, really cool. Kind of like Ark Survival meets zombie game.
But it's very permadeath kind of thing. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, so, you get your one thing and you survive as long as you can, kind of. And it's just really cool. And you take other people out. You get into groups and you take them out. Like, just go, we're in trouble. There's too many zombies here. Let's lead these real humans over to use them as, like, bait so we can get out of here and shit like that. Very cool game.
What have we got on the Switch, Floppy?
Over on the Switch, we've got Samurai Showdown. So the OG 1993 release. I'm assuming, I guess it's like a Street Fighter clone.
Came out on the Neo Geo.
Came out on the Neo Geo, but yeah. But this thing for like $4.50.
Yeah, it's worth $4.50. Probably not much more than that, but it was worth at least $4.50.
Now, is this the one that had that mechanic where the less health you had, the more powerful your attacks got?
Yes.
That's a cool mechanic. I like that.
This was the one at the time the Street Fighters and all that were coming out, but this is the only one that had weapons, if I remember, like guns, and you can drop your swords and then pick them up again and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got?
We also have Evoland 1 and 2. Ben, you have something to say about this one?
Yeah, so I added this one to the list purely because I was scrolling through my just eShop the other day and came across this. It starts off in a very Game Boy-like over-the-top RPG where you have one movement, and that's to go to the right where there's a chest. So you go over there and you unlock the ability to move left, which then unlocks your D-pad function. And as you go through collecting chests, which unlock other game mechanics and other graphical upgrades. And it's a very simplistic RPG, but it goes through the history of consoles. So it starts off in your Game Boy, then it goes to your Game Boy Color, then it goes to your Super Nintendo, your 8-bit NES, and then it goes to your Super Nintendo 16-bit, then it goes to your 32-bit, then it goes to your PlayStation 1 3D isometric graphics, then it goes to sort of like a little bit more HD graphics, and it just keeps going up and up and up as you play this game. It only takes about 2 or 3 hours to finish. So this is... it ends on as a fully realized game. So if you look there, we've jumped forward a bit. You got the Super Nintendo 32-bit era graphics now. And if you jump forward again, Dan, I think you'll end up finding it'll go. Yeah. So there, it jumps up. That's the 32. Sorry, we had 16 before. Details added. You click some boxes and that adds enemies. You click on other boxes and it adds puzzles or trap rooms. You click on some and it goes, all right, now you can look and now you can break pots. And all the while it makes references to other RPGs. So obviously the pot one being Zelda.
You saw them the change. Look, this is the change it's about to do. Look.
Yep. So it powers up. And as you go deeper and deeper into the game evolves into sort of like modern day huge RPGs. As I said, it only takes about 3 hours to finish. But the pack that I bought for about $7, what was it? $7.48? Yeah. Includes the sequel as well, which I haven't played. And I also think that's a little bit more fleshed out and a little bit larger. So for $7.50, you can have this really fun, relaxing little game. There's nothing really groundbreaking about it. It's very, very simple, very by the numbers, but it's just charming. It's just fun, and I love history and I love retro, and this is a really nice way to sort of like see it progress throughout the ages within 2 or 3 hours. So you should all get it now.
I'd say that is groundbreaking. I've never seen a game go through graphical changes and mechanics like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, check it out.
All right, last one on the Switch today is Yooka-Laylee. If you liked things like Banjo-Kazooie, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, stuff like that, you'll like this. It's a lot of fun. It's colourful. It's you jump around, smash crates, collect things, go through levels.
It looks like that Xbox Series X game.
Probably a bit smoother though.
Oh.
So apparently this game... the sequel to this game is actually better than this game, but this is really, really cheap, so you might as well get it.
Look, they're good
from the
fun.
same team that made Banjo-Kazooie, I think you said as well. At the top there, Floppy. Yeah, fun enough game. It's worth the $20 therefore.
Yeah, I think it's on there. It's on there for $29. I wouldn't pay more than that. But look, yeah, it's good. It's wholesome. It's fun.
Look at that snake wearing shorts.
That's weird, isn't it? How weird is that?
Speaking of weird snakes wearing shorts, time for Kojima Watch.
I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Yeah, great intro.
Long intro. But it's our time of that week of the words that we put together in order to tell you about Kojima, Hideo Kojima, our Lord and Savior and the Savior of all mankind. Praise him. So I thought this week we're going to have another little bit of a different Kojima watch because the whole world's still, in the plague times. So never mind the Simpsons predicting the future. We've all heard that. Kojima has them beat. He's one man, and I've got 5 times Kojima has accurately predicted the future through his games.
Bit of research.
Bit of research went into this. Okay, so the first time Kojima, well, not the first time, I've got probably the top 5. He's done much, much more, but these are the ones that stand out. So the first one I have here is an isolated America dependent on delivery men. So you can see here footage of Death Stranding. Oh, wait, no, sorry. This is from China from this week, and they're delivery men now.
They've got ectoskeletons.
They've got ectoskeletons, and they're walking around like Norman Reedus.
So, yeah, basically, ectoskeletons now to deliver food with giant backpacks on their backs, like in Death Stranding. I'm just explaining it to the podcast people. Really high packages, exactly the same as Death Stranding. So except they're wearing a helmet. Did you wear a helmet in Death Stranding?
You could wear a bunny hat, or not a hat, whatever it was.
Yeah, I feel like you should have wore a helmet.
Why don't they drive a van?
Because that's not what Kojima predicted, Floppy. You're not paying attention to the topic at hand.
That is true.
Curious as to what the guys are doing it.
Here we go. Here's a quote for you from Kojima for his second time he predicted the future. In the near future, we'll have games that don't depend on any platform, said Kojima. Gamers should be able to take the experience with them in their living rooms, on the go, when they travel, wherever they are and whenever they want to play. It should be the same software and the same experience. So Kojima pretty much predicted the Switch and Stadia. Stadia, whatever. Who cares? Google certainly doesn't.
Or?
It works.
He predicted cloud gaming.
Yeah, so Kojima predicted, this was back in the 90s as well, he predicted this. So Kojima there pulling out another win. Google not so much. The third one that I have here, quote direct from the game. See if you can guess which game this is.
Do you want me to play it, the footage?
Yeah, right,
tell you which game it's from?
In the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness. And this sums up the state of social media, I think. Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of the larger forum. They stay inside in their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large. That is, of course, Metal Gear Solid 2, and I think that pretty accurately describes the current world.
If you want amazing, you can watch that. You know how the what's that video called where the guy goes through this Metal Gear Solid 2 ending and how much it actually predicted the world. It's not just this little bit of it. It's crazy how much he predicted, like everything. Like even it's crazy.
This is Kojima, of which we're speaking about. Like he's just got such a grasp on humans. Like you look at and play all his games, especially the Metal Gear games, and they seem silly and fanciful, but my God, he's just nailed it. Another one in 2008 in Metal Gear Solid 4, he used drones in warfare. Something I don't think happened till 2012, 2013?
Not sure. I don't know.
Of anyway.
I don't know. We'd have to watch Homeland to work that one out.
And finally, and perhaps the hugest
we never
prediction.
got to the picture of the drone in my footage. Oh well.
The most accurate and the most brilliant prediction that Kojima made comes from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. We can see Senator Stephen Armstrong on the screen there. He's a heartless politician who puts money and power over the well-being of the American people. In the final battle against Raiden, he says, and I quote, "They'll make America great again."
Yeah, you can't see it because the subtitles are cut off, which sucks.
But so basically, this senator who doesn't care about anyone or anything and only himself tells Raiden that he wants to make America great again. And I don't know when Revengeance came out, but it certainly wasn't the last 10 years.
Oh, it was a while back. Yeah, it is definitely a look at this dude as well. He's got a white shirt on, a tie, slicked back 80s hair. He's smoking a cigar, glasses. He looks like an office dude, and he's beating up a Cyberman. So good.
Oh, you know what else is really good, Dan? Like so good that it hurts me. Our Patreons.
Oh, see, that was on that, hey, wasn't I? You didn't think I was going to be on that. Yeah, well.
You're getting better. You're getting better.
I know I am. Well, this is the part where we thank the Patreons, you beautiful beasts out there, the people that support us with like cash money, and they keep us rolling. They keep the studio walls from falling in on us like a deck of cards. And if you're our top tier producer Patreons, you get read out everything we do when we remember. So, thank you very much to Sam Beard, to Ashraf, to, I'm going to say Floppy. Actually, I am one as well. Thank you to Dan McGuinness. Oh, that's okay, guys. To Todd Randall, to Tommaso, to Mike Towns, to Karen Knight, to Ash Nice, and to Dylan Stevens. Thank you so much. You are beautiful people, and we can't do this without you. And if you like what you see tonight and you'd like to support us over on Patreon, please go over to Patreon and support us. You get extra things and earlier things. That is it. I think we're moving on to Tots now.
Yeah, let's do Tots. Pokemon. So this time, topic of the show, indie games that we have played and we are looking forward to playing. So we've each chosen one game that we've played from an indie developer that we absolutely loved and you should play, and one game coming out very, very soon from an indie developer that you should totally look out and follow and make sure you play as well. Dan, do you want to kick it off with an indie game that you loved?
Yep, I'm just getting it ready, queuing it up, and we are off. So my game is The Forest. So I love The Forest. So The Forest came out, it was in beta, it was in alpha, it was in Charlie, but whatever. And then it eventually came out, and now it's on PC and PlayStation 4. So the storyline of this, which is like just going to black here, I'm just gonna cut forward a whole bunch. Basically, you are on a plane with your son, and then obviously something happens to the plane. The plane crashes. You crash on an island. You wake up to seeing a weird dude grabbing your child and taking him away, and that's where your game starts. So the game is basically to try and get your son back. It's got so that's the story. You don't have to do that. You don't have to get your son back, and you don't straight away. So it is a survival game. It is a crafting game. It is a first-person shooter game kind of vibe. It is everything, this game. So you first, I'm going to get into it. The survival. This is survival at its best, this game. You have to, you start with nothing. You have to learn how to build a fire. And then, so you're trying to survive. You're just trying to get food. You're just trying to get water. You start making traps to trap rabbits and stuff like that. And then you're cooking rabbits. Then you end up getting drying. You can start making drying racks, and you can dry stuff so food lasts longer. Then you need to drink, so you can find. Fortunately, because the plane crashed over the island, there's lots of suitcases and everything scattered all over the island. So you can find clothing and energy drinks and stuff like that in suitcases. But also, when it starts raining, you can collect rain. All you have to do is think about doing it in this game. You can probably do it. So I found a sea turtle, killed it, took its shell, put it upside down, and when it rained, it filled the sea turtle shell up, and I got water that way, kind of thing.
It's horrific.
Oh yeah. This game is horrific. This is a full tilt horror game. So that's that part of it. Then you start chopping down trees, building cabins, because then you realize that once it gets night, the bloody cannibals start coming out in this game. That's right. There are cannibals that are out there. Horrible cannibals. So you start defending yourself from these attacks of cannibals. There's all different sorts of levels on them, building things, and that's great. Then you and then you can craft stuff. So you can but you can craft everything in this game. You can get a cannibal, right? You killed your guy, you pick him up, you can chop him up, then you can eat the leg. You can dry the leg if you want, so you can eat the leg later. You can burn the leg and then get the bones out of it and then make weapons out of the bone. You can collect the teeth and stick the teeth on weapons with sap to make it your axes hurt more. You can do everything. It's crazy.
It legitimately is a game for the limb collector.
Yeah, basically. And then you're doing that, and this is all cool, this is fun, and the more you find in this game, the more rewards you get, the more dangerous. Then you start finding caves. So you go in these caves, and you start spelunking down these caves, and then you realize that, what's that? And you realize, is that a baby in this cave on the ground? And then you're like, hang on, that's a malformed baby, and suddenly a baby gets thrown at you. And you look, and there's this heaving mass of legs throwing babies at you. And you're like, what's going on? I'm out of here. And then you realize there's these mutants in these caves. So then you got these mutants in these caves. And then, oh man, it's so good. And then you can start bringing in, I'm going to I'll wrap this up pretty soon. What makes it amazing is you play this game, it's amazing. But then you realize that, dude, I can bring my mate into this. And 4 of you can do this together on the island. And survive and make big huts and venture into these deep caves, getting deeper and deeper, and just trying to find the kid. I never found the kid. It's definitely one of those games where if you have a guide, it really helps you out. And so this is from, and also I always find, when there's an indie game you love, when you own it on multiple consoles and systems. So I own this on everything that it came out on, and you seem to get that from games that you love. You own them on all sorts of different devices. So I own this on PC and PS4. I'd probably own it on Switch if it was on Switch. Is it on Switch? I think it might be coming to Switch.
Maybe.
I think it might be
I
coming.
don't know. But there is a sequel coming out as well.
Yes. The sequel looks crazy. Anyhow, it had constant updates to it, which makes it cool. So, they've updated it now, and there'll be a new boat out in the middle of the ocean that you go into, and there's something else. You know what I mean? They keep adding new items into the game and just stuff to make it cool. Anyhow, that's it. That was my game I love. The Forest. You can pick it up on PlayStation 4. You can pick it up on PC. You can get it super cheap. I've done streams of it on PC and everything like that. That's it.
You've also did a stream of it with us way back when we were doing a lot more Let's Plays together, where Braden, let's just say, didn't come in wearing the brown pants, but it certainly left with them.
Living shit out of me. It was horrific. I may look a little bit different. All of my internet died, and I am now running off my laptop, off my phone's hotspot.
I noticed that you were quiet for a while. That's good. That's good work, Braden. I like your ingenuity there, you little tiger. Anyhow,
MacGyver.
That was a bit MacGyver. With a rubber band and a bit of sticky tape, he can create an internet server. Okay, so what's next? Who was next?
I'm next, and I had a difficult time choosing which indie game I love the most because there's three that really, really stood out for me. The first one being Journey, which is just a wonderful game, and the music's just brilliant. The second was Rhyme, which I've spoken about numerous times on this show. I loved it beyond anything, but I think I'm somewhat alone in that thing. So the one I decided to stick with is What Remains of Edith Finch. So What Remains of Edith Finch came out in 2017 and is basically a walking sim. Developed by Giant Sparrow and published by our good friends over Annapurna Interactive. It centers on the character of Edith, a member of the Finch family, funnily enough, and she's afflicted by a perceived curse that causes all but one member of each generation to die in unusual ways. And this is basically Edith narrating her journey through her household, her family home, and discovering all kinds of secrets and recounting the way that all these characters died. And the way they died is, it's sort of metaphorical as well as you don't know whether they do actually die. It's sort of alluded to very strongly, and you need to sort of piece it together about how they die. So, for example, one of the deaths is her brother, I believe, who suffered psychotic breakdowns and was taking drugs for it. But he just sort of retreated more and more into his world of make-believe where he was a prince going to serve a king. And during this gameplay, on one side, he's doing his everyday job, which is grabbing fish and chopping off their heads. So on one hand, with one side of the controller, you're chopping off the heads. And then on the other side of the controller with the opposite thumbstick, you're guiding him on a top-down perspective as he goes through the river and fights off other boats to try and get to the king and to the march. And it ends with slowly the reality of chopping the fish head fading away and sort of becoming part of the background as the hallucinations become stronger as Edith sort of like reading the letter from the psychologist detailing his slip from reality and becoming more and more involved in his make-believe world, and ends with the brother reaching the king and bending down to get his crown, and you just hear the chomp of the guillotine. And then Edith just goes, oh, my brother died on blah, blah, blah. And it's like, whoa. So I'm a story guy. Like this is just a character-driven amazing walking sim. It's got a couple of little puzzles in it, but certainly nothing that's strenuous. It takes probably 3 hours to finish. It's just a beautiful game, really touching, really gets you to invest in the characters. And I've played it a couple of times. It's one of my favorite. It is my favorite indie game thus far that I've played. So you should all go out and buy What Remains of Edith Finch. It's on all the platforms that you can have in your hands. None of those feet platforms. Sorry.
Nice. Floppy.
This is a tough one for me. I don't play a lot of indie games. I like a lot of indie games, but I don't play heaps.
Yeah, what are you, a toff?
Okay. Yes. You have to say what that means.
You know,
It means you're an earthbender. You invented metal bending?
No, toffee, like a rich
Yeah, toff.
Your poo-hoo.
She's blind, can't see much, but becomes the chief of police and
Sure.
has a whole bunch of metal bending police people.
Stop
Hello,
it.
my name's Floppy. I'm a toff. I chose Cuphead. Now, we're picking games that we love. I'm going to start this a little differently. I hate this game. I hate this game so much. This game
Why?
is-
Because it's impossible to finish?
It is too freaking hard. Every single encounter is a bloody boss battle. The only difference being some boss battles are harder than the other impossible boss battles.
Yeah,
It's a boss rush.
Some boss battles have really hard guys just before them.
Yeah. And then some of the boss battles are really hard and some of them are really, really hard. And I can get next to nowhere through this game.
You need a power.
For those of you who don't know, it's like a run and gun shooter. You're playing literally a cup-headed man who has I think it's his brother or his cousin, his mug man. So you can play this 2-player, which is very cool because I can get further when I'm playing it 2-player because the other person does all the stuff. And essentially, it's one of those things where you just kind of learn the patterns of the bosses. But even then, it's still so friggin' hard.
So you didn't really
But-
get what we were doing tonight when we said
No,
a game that you
but-
loved. You just chose a game you hated.
I hate this game, but I keep playing this game because I love what it looks like and I love what it sounds like.
Yeah,
This thing
it is
all
hot.
based on like the 1930s cartoons, like the old Walt Disney, the Steamboat Willie things, and the music is just amazing. And despite how much I hate this game, I can't stop playing this game, and that drives me bonkers.
It's kind of a glowing review, really.
I mean, isn't it? Isn't it just? This is like this onion's right at the start. I'm pretty sure. I think this is one of the second or third person. I don't think I've gotten 2 or 3 bosses past this one.
I beat
tell
this
you-
guy.
It is torturous, but it is beautiful to be tortured by.
Your problem, Floppy, is that you probably suffer from old man reflexes like the
there's
rest of us.
There's no probably about it. It's 100%. Look at that. Look how good that looks, though.
It's all
I am
hand drawn as well, I believe. This
I am
entire
happy
game.
to play this and get killed all the time.
Yeah, no, 2 brothers did this whole game, and they brought
Whoa.
out DLC as well. And you can get this on the Switch now, thanks to Nintendo and Xbox playing lovey-dovey.
That's what I've got it on.
Yeah. Brayden.
All right. So, being the Millennial Falcon, I thought I'd represent my millennials well and truly. This indie game I absolutely love. It's called Night in the Woods. Not the best thing ever. So, if I was to try and describe the art style of this game to podcast listeners or someone who has never seen this before, I describe this game as it's if Animal Crossing went 2D, had an existential crisis about the entire state of the modern world. That's what this game is.
Yeah, I was
Fuck.
I was looking at like some of the dialogue stuff in this when I was like getting these footage, and it's just like, whoa, heavy.
Yeah, no, so this is a heavy game. This isn't for the like faint of heart. Like it might look like a cutesy cartoon, but like they handle serious shit. So this is a bit of a description of it. You play as May, who's that cat person you see in the orange shirt. They're a 20-year-old college dropout who returns to the hometown of Possum Springs to live in her parents' attic.
Sweet.
It's pretty relatable.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's not. What? Who can relate to that? Losers?
Your best friends include Bo, who's a cigarette-smoking crocodile, Greg, who's a hyperactive fox, and Greg's boyfriend, a bear named Angus. Now, Paste, the magazine and website, their review, they have a quote in their review that summarizes this game perfectly. This game covers mental illness, depression, the stagnancy of the middle and lower classes, and the slow death of small-town America. So you can see why it appealed to me.
You love the death of small-town America?
Oh no, I just love things that actually explore like modern problems from like
real world issues.
especially from like someone of my age brackets, like
Hopeless future?
yeah, like it's tough.
Game,
tough at the moment.
Game Boy Dad in the chat says it sounds like Dougie for grown-ups.
Well, I mean, yeah, a bit like it, and I just love this game. I played through it so much. There's so many sweet little moments between each of the characters, and then it gets to some really serious shit, and it does it really well for a little cutesy cartoon. style.
This is perfect because I have never even seen this game ever in my life, and that's what I was hoping would happen in this section. The first 2 games I'd heard of you guys, but this game when I was looking at it, I was just like, what is this? And why? Brayden, you definitely have a style of games you like because you liked After Party, didn't you?
Yeah. So you can look at this, and then you can look at After Party, and you can make obvious connections between their art styles.
Yeah, I thought I'd love After Party, and I got it, and I hated it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone because the gameplay isn't quite what some people expect. And it'd be the same with this. Like some people would go into it thinking there might be some platforming stuff in here. Kind of not really. You're really just exploring around and going through the story. And you from this video that I tagged, like you don't really want to spoil too much so people can go in and experience it. It's floppy.
Just for you, Brayden, because I know you'll like this. Did you see the scene that they had the kitchen and they had a cat clock on the kitchen wall?
Yes.
I used to have that clock.
Oh, it's adorable.
Is that the TikTok clock, Cat?
Yeah.
All right. Is that it, Brayden?
I was going to
That's
say,
it.
yeah, that's it. I highly recommend everyone should go and check it out.
Alright.
And yeah, it's like, I don't know how much it is on Steam and stuff now, but it's been out since 2017.
One thing we can be sure of, it certainly costs money. other things that cost money are games that we're looking forward to, yet they'll cost future money, not money that is in the current pockets because they're not out yet. So here's Dan to tell us about his money spending thing that he wants to use to play.
Yes, I am going to tell you. So my game I'm doing for the one I'm looking forward to is Carrier. Look at this.
Oh my god! This is
What
the most
the hell is
dancing
this?
I've ever seen.
So this is a game where it's a reverse horror game in which you assume the role of an amorphous creature of unknown origin, stalking and consuming those who imprison you.
Ooh.
So you basically play the bad guy. You play like the horror, like the B-grade horror monster, as you can see here. And you've got your red, you're a blob. You've got lashing tendrils and what are they called? Tentacles and stuff like that. And this game apparently it's a Metroidvania style game. So it's one open up and as your creature to know where you've been. Your creature kind of leaves like a blood trail and goo everywhere, and that's kind of how your map works. So you're like, I've been here because there's crap
That's
everywhere.
cool.
So you have, it's like a twin stick. So you have like to move your blob man around is your left hand stick, and you just go so it's a 2D side scroller. And so you just have to go up. You just go up. You just press up and you smooth, like your body maneuvers itself up and around. And your right stick is like your lashing tendrils and so it's really easy to grab like grates and doors and humans and stuff. So it controls like a twin stick shooter and it's really fluid and really nice. You have abilities to upgrade. So you have like abilities and then you have upgrades. So you get the ability to, like smash through grates and walls and stuff. And then you can obviously upgrade your your health. And the more you upgrade, the bigger you get. Straight away, so the humans you're against, they have guns, they have flamethrowers. You come up with ones with armor, you come up with turrets. So straight away, you're pretty unbeatable. It feels like, but then you start, getting a bit harder. The flamethrowers really burn you, and it starts to be a bit more of a stealthy game where you go into grates and you wait for the humans and you grab them and pull them into the grates and eat them and stuff. I'll see if I've got any footage of him a bit bigger. So I'm just trying to. What's going on? Oh, in a forest. So yeah, this game just speaks to me so much.
Oh my god!
It's like. The violence in it is heavy violence. The sounds that you can't hear are amazing. You get an ability to like bend light, so you can kind of like go invisible, like a predator cloaking and stuff. And it looks so good when it works. Just a great looking game. I think it's bought out by. So this is going to be on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Mac. It's going the whole run. Oh, apart from
Switch.
Sorry. Yeah. It might be on Switch, actually. Notice might have not actually put that in there. But, yeah.
You ignored something on the Switch. That's not like you.
So you can see he's on fire. He's not going very good there. So you don't know why... Like, you don't even... Like, there's no origin of, like, why these people have you or anything. And you don't really need to know. You're a monster. You need to get bigger. When, like, your checkpoints are, like, you kind of nest and you create a giant heart in the world. And then, like, you go from there. And I can't imagine because there was a demo, there was a time demo out, so you can't play it anymore. It was on Steam, but you can't do it anymore. I can only imagine like what.
You know when this one's coming out, Dan?
Yeah, I did, and I've deleted it from my notes.
Good. Because who needs that information anyway?
Yeah, but
just everyone sit on your screen and just refresh all the time, and it'll come out eventually. I promise.
I think just
good
up
work,
here,
Dan.
What?
I said good work. I was complimenting you. Good job.
Thank
Well
you
done.
very much. So that's the game I've been looking forward to. I've been following it on all my horror websites that I like follow, like Bloody Disgusting and stuff like that. I've been doing like reviews. You can see here he's about to get the ability to bend light, and I see him there. Oh, it looks so good.
Its current release date is currently just sitting as 2020, so we will see.
2020.
Oh, Brayden, well done. Good stuff. Doing that research.
Thank you very much. I think I did the research and realized it didn't have a date, so I was like, Anyhow, that's what that's what I'm really looking forward to. I can't wait to play it. I am a limb collector, and anything where you get to be a monster and rip people to shreds is always going to be high on my list. Who's
You can do it physically as you always do it metaphorically and with feelings. You monster. I am looking forward to a game bought out by a local Adelaide developer. For those of you listening and watching over in the US, we are in Adelaide, South Australia, and we have quite the burgeoning little indie developer scene down here. Now, before I go on to talk about this game, the developer Dan Freer is a friend of mine, and I've known him for many, many years. He's also a former Australian latte art champion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he ever put dicks in them?
All the time. They're called cockachinos.
Is that a true thing?
That's a true thing. That's a true thing in the industry.
Can you
Good
do that
Lord.
stuff as well?
Yeah, I can draw an old cockachino when I need to.
Can you do that kind of stuff?
Latte art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it? Yeah, I've never. Well, I only ever see you roast coffee. I don't know if you can actually make
Well,
it.
no, I wouldn't be roasting coffee with latte art. I'd be making lattes, not roasting beans. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about Dan and his awesome little game. So Dan has developed this game here. He's made it all by himself. It's called Right. And he describes it as a high-speed precision platformer. Playing as an agile Nim, you must guide the swift creature through their rite of passage. Players will dodge traps, collect coins, unlock doors, and reach the exit to fulfill their destiny. Now, it's got 160 carefully crafted levels, pixel purist visuals, and an original soundtrack by composer Simon Hanna. Now, I played an early build of this. This game, and I'm again, disclaimer, I know Dan, I've known him for many years, but this game is freaking awesome. It is so much fun. The fluidity of the movement is some of the best I've ever experienced. Being someone who enjoys his Mario platformers, the wall jumping is amazing. Now, you don't need to collect all these coins. What you do need to do is collect that big coin in the middle with the hole in it. That's how you open up the door to get to the next level.
Ooh, I love
and
the
it
logo.
starts off very, very, I wouldn't say easy, but user-friendly, and then slowly progresses harder and harder, and a couple of puzzle elements come in, and it is the one-hit kill, much like Celeste, but the respawn's almost instant, but you respawn at the start of the level.
I really like this, because you can't hear the sound effects on here and stuff like that. I like all the sound effects of like the blades going like whoosh, whoosh.
Oh, it's amazing. So Dan spent a long time on this game. He has done absolutely everything. He built the engine. Well, he used an engine building program, but he built all of the stuff there. He has done all the graphics. He's got a huge following over on his Twitter. You should go and follow him over at Freer Dan. He's actually in the chat right now. So if you like it, be nice. Say, hey, Dan, that's cool. I'm going to buy it when it comes out on Steam, which will be very, very soon. He's assured us that it is coming soon. He's almost at the final little bit. See, I'm not a game dev. I don't know what the final little bit's called. It's
Gold.
not the crunch. Final gold. He's almost at the final gold. He's there. Being a gold miner, he's mined out all the gold and he's about to spend it.
Dan in the chat, put a link to like your Patreon or anything like that in the chat.
Well, see, that's the thing. He's not doing
crazy.
that. He's not doing any Patreons. He's going purely old school. No Kickstarter, no Patreons, doing it the old-fashioned way. It's coming out on Steam soon for you to play and buy. I'll be picking this up because it's freaking awesome. And I think anyone who especially likes, it's not as punishing as Celeste. It certainly has those Celeste vibes, but it's nowhere near as punishing. It's, I would say, a lot like Mario 3, if I can use that analogy. Mario 3, if you had the wall jumps from Mario 64. The wall, I can't get over here how good the wall jumping mechanic is in this game.
It is amazing. Like seeing
really
the
good.
adorable
really
little character.
He looks great, doesn't he? He's a little man.
And Dan's outlined all this as well on his Twitter. So again, twitter.com/Freerdan. That's FREERDAN. Over on Twitter. Go and check it out. He'll be announcing the full game soon and when it will be out. And I encourage you all to support a local developer. And again, he's in the chat. Tell him how awesome he is because it really is great.
There's one thing I can't see in this chat. I want to know what happens when that little man hits those blades. I really want to know. Like, does he explode? Does he
Such a sicko.
You're always on about the limb collecting, aren't you?
Yeah, man.
Limb collecting, mate.
So he does. He sort of goes like in Blaster Master, and then you start back at the start of the level.
That's cool.
And I suggested a name for the character that Dan's thinking about calling him that. So if he decides to, yeah, it's Ben. No,
call him Dan.
So if he's going to be that name of the character, I'll be sure to tell everyone because it'll be the first time I got to name a game character, and that'll be kind of rad. And I hope it takes off so he gets figures made, and I can say, I gave you your name, my little baby boy.
Let's play
I really
it.
hope this does take off because I can imagine like a speedrunning community getting really behind this.
Oh, man, the speedrunning community will love it. He showed me because I played an early build of it. We were able to skip right to the very end level. So the coins are optional, but if you collect all the coins, you get another whole set of levels, which is like your expert mode. And the jumping comes down to you have to land on the pixel on the very corner in order to do it.
Oh,
Mate.
He's put so much effort and so much time into this, and I really hope it takes off. It's really, really hard out there. So please follow him on Twitter, retweet his tweets, just get it out there, share it with all your friends. I'm really hoping that maybe, probably not this year because of the global situation, we won't see it at AvCon, but hopefully next year he can show it at AvCon. He can start to get it out there more, but tell your friends about it because this game is going to be huge if I have anything to say about it.
South Australia, man. There's so many rad game developers. It's so crazy, eh? Like, and it's just like, it's made in South Australia. It's made in South Australia. Made in South Australia. What's that? Oh, yeah, the biggest indie games in the world, made in South Australia. Like,
yeah. So Hollow Knight was made by Team Cherry, which we've had on the show before, episode 14. Braden, Team Cherry. We've also got the guys.
Braden know?
Because I was listening then.
Oh.
Yeah, we've also got Battle Briefs, the Juicy Cupcake who made Battle Briefs, which has been played by the Kind of Funny guys. We've got Rooftop Renegade. We've got, so much. I'm sorry if I'm missing out anyone. We want to get you all on the show. We need to do an SA indie dev type thing, I think.
Yeah.
Brief Battles, thank you, Natty.
A big like mashup of like showing off all of the amazing SA devs.
Yeah. Oh, Hacknet as well. Michael Towns has just told me Hacknet as well. So it was Brief Battles, Hacknet. Yeah, we should look at that. We once this situation's
Conan
over.
Game, the Conan game, which I don't know.
Oh, Conan Chop Chop.
Conan Chop Chop. Yeah.
Yep.
Australia.
They also Mighty Kingdom. They also did a lot of the what is it, Shopkins games as well. So you know what Shopkins are? No, they're like little. Anyway, we've got a whole heap of very talented indie game devs, and we really need to do something. We need to do like a showcase for them.
Oh, well, definitely. If Dan lets us play his game on a Let's Play, I'll stream that or play it.
I think we all need to. I think we all need to sit down and have a go at it because it's great. Again, the controls just amazing. Follow him at FreerDan, FreerDan on Twitter. Go now, do it. I'll wait here.
No. First, stay and watch the rest of the show.
Oh, okay. Do it after. Floppy, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I did have a game I was looking forward to, but screw that. I want to play Dan's game.
It's really good.
It looked awesome, man. I hadn't actually seen that.
Carry on.
I even forgot what game I was looking for. That's right. There was a little game that piqued my interest at E3 in 2019 which is just
I've got the footage of that
in front of you.
There you go.
Yeah, Way to the Woods. Way to the Woods. Also done by an Aussie developer, a guy from Melbourne, I think.
Hang on. Did you realise that yours is called Way of the Woods? Braden's was called... What was Braden's called?
Night in the Woods.
Night in the Woods. And mine's called The Forest.
I sense a theme.
Yeah, we all like... Yeah, keep going.
Coincidence. Anyway, so yeah, another little Aussie developer that's from Melbourne that sort of put this together, I believe, on his own, except for music. Maybe. Someone correct me in the comments, maybe, if they can.
Call it
It's about these two deers. I think it's a father and son, or a mother and son. Deers that are trying to get through and survive this world to get back home, but there's no humans around.
But there's floating fish in the world as well for some reason.
Yeah, it's odd. It's surreal. I think it's going to be very journey-like and more of an experience than anything else. And it's something that I am looking forward to, sort of sitting down and... Yeah, headbutts and some vending machines. And really just getting lost in, I think. I don't know too much about it. I didn't see much about it at E3, and it's hard to find some more info about it now. But it's something that just caught my attention, and it's something that I think I'm going to really get into. I don't know if anyone else has sort of looked at this.
E3. Yeah, I remember seeing this at E3, and I was like, I really want to play that because that looks like such a fun experience. It looks so nice.
Yeah, it looks so pleasant and calming.
It looks like the kind of boring games you guys would play.
No limb collecting.
Well, it's not filled with blood and guts, Dan. We're sorry.
Yeah, I know. Did you see those deers kissed before? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, oh, it doesn't have a cat in it. I do love cats. I played that this week. I played that Gato Roboto that we talked about last week. That game's great as well.
Oh, you did like that one?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's basically Metroid, like the OG Metroid, but you're a cat in the Metroid world.
Bloody hell.
Where did Ben go? Oh.
Hey, everyone, I'm here.
Yeah, this is a game that I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I care about why there's no humans, but I just want to walk around in a human world with no humans as a deer. That sounds cool.
I just want to walk around in a world with no humans. That'd be nice.
You can right now, Ben.
Yeah, just go down and Rundle Mall, mate.
Oh, but they're there. I can smell them.
Just come to my shop.
I mean, I'm sorry. Brayden, what are you looking forward to besides Dan's crumbling? No, don't look forward to that. What are you looking forward to?
Bless. No, I've been supporting Dan. I've been buying some comics on the store.
Oh, have you? When?
Yeah, from the online store. I ordered 2 comics
caught out in a lie.
end of last week.
No, I probably didn't send it out to you.
That's all
It
right.
was probably Ross or someone else.
Yeah, it's all good. I am looking forward to. This is polar opposite to Night in the Woods. This is Humankind. It's sort of. This was that one.
Oh, Super Saiyan Goku.
I mean, it
Jesus
looks that
Christ.
way. So this is that one that it had a reveal trailer at an E3 or something, where it was that caveman DJing and producing music in a space shuttle for no reason.
Were you high? I don't remember seeing that.
No, so legit. So this is an actual reveal trailer they did where it's this caveman like DJing, and then it showed like 2 seconds of like game footage, and then they were like Humankind, and no one knew what it was.
I was looking at footage for this tonight, trying to work out what even this game was. Hey.
Yeah. So if you think about things like Sid Meier's Civilization.
Yeah, I don't think about them ever.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not for everyone. I mean, it's a strategy game, but like this is basically an indie developer sort of doing their take on it, and it seems to have a bit more of a story element to it, or at least a like create a character and build it up yourself, rather than in Sid Meier's Civilization, you're taking people from ancient history like leaders. So you'll play as Egypt and you'll play as pharaohs and Cleopatra and all that stuff. Whereas in this, you're creating your own people, and it's just I'm interested to see how it goes, because I'm seeing a similar situation to what City Skylines had with SimCity, where SimCity sort of like had the market on that done, and then this is kind of coming in being like, hey, we're doing a new thing. So that's my one I'm looking forward to. Bit different.
Oh, Sega! It's a Sega game. How weird.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought Sega had a game in this day and age?
I didn't think they still made anything apart from like, pachinko machines or something.
Oh, no. They're always making mistakes and failures. They're making that quite a lot.
I don't think they made anything.
Failures and mistakes. Anyway, Braden, sorry to hijack your talk.
No, that was it.
That was it? Cool. Hey, speaking of hijacking, do you know what's really good at hijacking your ears? This.
Dan versus the world.
There was no
That's
way
right.
I was getting changed quick enough then.
It's time for Dan versus the world, our video game jukebox guessing game. So, for the rules, let's see if I've been doing this for almost 3.5 years now. I'm still no good at it. But I have 3 games from video games history or video games future. Who knows? I could be tricky. No, I'm never tricky. I will play the first 5 seconds of the first song. It is then up to Dan, who represents Dan, taking on Team Floppy and Team Braden, combining their powers combined. They are Captain the World.
I was going to say how hot this section looks with my glasses.
So they'll take turns backwards and forwards trying to guess the game. They can ask any question they want besides, what's the name of the game? Because I've heard that so many times, I'm going to deduct points if it's ever brought up again.
Whole strategy gone.
Yeah, sorry, Floppy. After 5 guesses, they will each have an opportunity to guess the game. If they get it right, they get a point. If they get it wrong, they don't get a point. You can guess before you've had the first 5 questions, but if you get that wrong, the point goes to the other person. At the end of last round, we had Dan on 9 and the world on 14.
Jesus.
Mainly because Braden is a Superman at this.
Yeah, last round I sort of had my way with it.
You did.
You what?
You heard it.
You had your way with it. What is
It
your
was
way?
consensual.
So,
All right, here we
so
go.
the reason I was going to say as well, the reason I wear these pink glasses is because I can see the chat, but I can't. I'm very blind. I can't see the chat. So please, if you're in the chat and you do know what it is, don't put it in the chat. But if you do put it in the chat, I won't be able to see it anyway. So I'm not cheating.
Okay, here we go. Song
I never
number 1.
win anyway. Hold it up to the mic better. Yep.
Okay, Dan, question number 1.
Does anyone know what it is? I'm not asking the chat. I was asking Braden and do you guys know what it is? I have bloody no idea. Is it, what genre of game is it?
It is a side-scrolling platformer.
Right.
All right.
Or is it a Metroidvania? No, it's not.
Floppy, do you want me to take this one or?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Have we talked about it on this show?
No, not this show. Dan, question number 2.
Sucked in. You don't know what it is.
That's the hack. That's the hack question.
What was your question? Oh yeah. What console is it on?
The Super Nintendo.
All right. I should have guessed that. Hey, like you could.
World question number 2.
Go, Braden.
Oh God. So a side-scrolling platformer type on a SNES. Wow.
Wait, yeah, I know that narrows it down to 470,000.
What are you playing as in this one? What's your what are you in control of?
You're playing as a little chimp, little monkey who wears a hat.
Can I? Wait, a chimp?
Yeah.
Is it Donkey Kong Country 2? Because you're holding
Yes,
up
yes,
Amazing.
yes, it is. Donkey Kong Country 2, the best Donkey Kong game.
Well, I'm just updating. Oh man, I can't even see any of this stuff to update it. Why am I in control when I can't see?
I thought Diddy Kong was the best Donkey Kong game.
It is. Diddy's Conquest. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest.
Ah,
Okay, here we go. Song number 2.
Oh, that was great.
Dan.
Right, I know that tune, but that's
Question
not
number
the
1.
version I know. All right. What company did it?
Sega.
I'm trying to. I mean, it's obvious what it is, but what is it?
Yeah, you got to narrow down what you're doing in it.
Question number 1, World.
What bad guys you facing in this one?
All of them? I think.
What?
From memory? I don't know.
As in like what, bosses or enemies?
Yeah. That's how I interpreted it. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna take a stab on this one because
Really?
you don't know anything about this company, and the only thing you would know about is stuff I've streamed.
What even do you mean?
And that tune was way over 16 bit. Is it Sonic Generations?
Yeah, it is. I don't like the fact.
2 for 2. Just acknowledge that.
I don't like the fact that Dan has worked out my limits. I'm not a fan of this at all.
it's
Okay.
just Nintendo games.
He knows your process. It's either SNES, something so modern that Braden will get it, or something so that Dan has done recently.
All right, fine. Song number 3, and we'll see how you guys go next week.
Turn it off. Is it my question?
Yeah, you go first.
Console is it on?
This is on the PlayStation 4.
Just
Only
the
on PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4. You said what console is it on? I said PlayStation 4. World, question number 1.
Floppy, you got a question? Or
What genre of game is it?
It is a fighting game.
All right, fighting game. PlayStation, what was it? PlayStation 4 or 3?
Yep, 4.
4.
Question number 2.
Fighting game. Without trying to give anything away, what was the question I could ask? What company makes it?
Capcom.
All right, I gave it away.
World.
all right.
Brayden, your question.
Floppy, you want to ask another question? I'm trying to think of one that will narrow it down a bit.
But not too
Without
much.
Not too much.
Yeah. Is it? Is it the original version of the game on the PlayStation 4?
Ooh, good question. Yes, it is. Dan, question number 3. Sounds like the world knows what it is. Crunch time, baby.
I'm just going to guess it because I know it's a Street Fighter and it's a modern one. And I just can't remember what.
It's also the original one that came out on that console, remember? Which is something that Floppy just said.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember what number it is because I can't. Is it Street Fighter?
Dan.
5.
What?
Is it Street Fighter 5?
For a second there, I was thinking Dan was still so blind that he couldn't tell how many fingers he was holding up.
What? I was just showing Dan how many questions there was in
Dude.
the whole.
That's
Can we just acknowledge that I just got
bullshit.
to Oh, Floppy's out. He can't handle it. He just can't handle the truth that McGuinness.
Well,
It's so-
maybe next time Floppy needs to align with someone who doesn't insult my game knowledge.
I'll keep a
Yeah,
tight lip next time.
is Floppy there?
Yeah,
He's
mate.
here.
Oh, you're back. Good. I feel pretty good about that. I haven't had a flat run in a while.
Yeah, clean
I don't-
sweep.
They were
Stop
all,
again.
they were all flukes as well. I just guessed like
Yeah.
the Diddy Kong. I thought it was this Donkey Kong Country 1.
Not
But then-
not too hard to get a flat run when you're getting fed the answers.
What do you mean?
Oh,
you're
Floppy's lost, everyone. But it doesn't matter because you're still in the lead. Dan is on 12. The world is on 14. In this season 4 of Dan versus the World. Dan, take us to the happy place.
the happy place is. What do we go to after this? Just back to normal, don't we?
The outward screen.
Just the main screen.
Oh no!
Yeah, here it is with all our
Everything
things.
on it.
Hey everyone, we're back here to sign off from the show. We've been Hack the Dino. This has been our critical path and is the 96th time we've done it. That's right, 4 more shows and we hit the big 100. Don't know what we're going to do for that. Don't know if we'll all be alive. Stay tuned to find out.
Do some housekeeping because I finally got the ads working.
Okay, so you can follow us when we're not suspended on youtube.com/Hack the Dino. This will be going up there very, very shortly, all stitched together and very, very, not ruined by rain and technical issues. So you can see it there.
It'll be very linear. It'll be good.
It'll be great. So if you could head on over to youtube.com/Hack the Dino, subscribe, ring the bell so you know when we're not banned anymore, and you'll get notification of lots of little videos that are coming up. We're changing the way the YouTube channel looks. You may have noticed that if you've been there recently. So subscribe, tell your friends, get your friends to subscribe. Just help us grow because we're going to be coming back there very, very strong, very, very soon. You may also be watching us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Hack the Dino, which is where Dan primarily streams his games on Sunday. Dan, what are we streaming on twitch.tv/Hack the Dino this week?
We are streaming Friday the 13th, and it is going to be a group stream. So
Team Dino!
all of us are going to be in it, and a couple of other guests because we don't have enough people in Team Dino to fill up the whole thing. So Friday the 13th, someone's going to be Jason Voorhees. There's going to be 5 counselors that are going to get reamed.
And here's a fun little game that you can play at home while watching us. Guess which member of the Hack the Dino team is going to be very, very scared?
Yeah, I am not going to be handling this very well.
When we tested it out the other night just to see if it would work, Floppy was pretty scared, eh?
It was great. I had you soiling yourself a little bit.
He was hating it though, but because when you play as Jason, you fully play the part as Jason. Like you try and scare them, because the more you scare the characters in it, the more they become easier for you to find as you go on. So you actually have to scare them first. So
that's over at twitch.tv/Hack The Dino. But if you don't like looking at our faces or looking at our garbled internet gibberish, you can listen to the podcast over on Spotify, over on SoundCloud, and available also on iTunes. If you could leave a review there as well, 5 stars. Again, tell your friends. It helps other people find us. That's what we're trying to do at the moment. Get more people's eyes and ears and mouth and nose all around us and our word holes. Ew. We've also got an exclusive podcast coming up very, very soon. In fact, launching next Friday is the very first episode of Retro Trigger. It's a podcast where I interview people about anything in the realm of retro. As long as it's 15 years old, we can cover it and we take deep dives. The very first episode I can reveal here exclusively is with our very own Floppy, and we're talking about the history of the Super Nintendo, because Floppy got his very first Super Nintendo ever the other week, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about the games he should get, and we're going to rank them, and it's a good old time. So make sure you subscribe on SoundCloud or iTunes or Spotify to Hack the Dino to hear the Retro Trigger.
I'm gonna housekeep some of my new podcast as well.
I was about to say, time for your pluggables, Dan.
So I've started up a new podcast with my friend Jen from Shintokyo. And we are it's going to be on, I'm not quite sure when it's going to be. The first episode is getting recorded this week, and it's a movie horror podcast. So we talk about, it's the same as this, but horror, and it's only audios. It's called TerrorVision. TerrorVision Horror Podcast. So
excellent.
I'll post about that once I get some content, but it's going to be great. It's going to be very much like Braden's podcast, which he's probably going to talk about now. Braden.
Yeah, so we actually had Dan on a episode of Millennial Movie Talk as a guest. It was one of the longest episodes we've ever done because we were just talking forever, which was great. It was great fun, but it's a long one if you want to go and check it out. Millennial Movie Talk. We were over there. Normally we talk movie news and reviews and stuff. The news is a bit light recently, so we've just been doing random questions and topics, and we've just started. We're now going to do a bunch of tier lists of like things being S rank, A rank, B rank for a bunch of different franchises.
I listened to your Avengers one.
Yes. How did you feel about it?
To me, like the Marvel films are like S or D. There's nothing in between. To
No
me,
middle ground.
yeah,
But yeah.
they're either Endgame, Thor, Ragnarok, and the rest.
just everything else. But yeah, so that's over on Spotify and iTunes and SoundCloud.
Winter Soldier is pretty cool.
YouTube as well.
True.
Winter Soldier is
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 1.
Winter Soldier.
Is it still good, Iron Man 1, or is it one of those things you just remember being good, but if you go back now and look at it, you're like, oh,
No,
yeah.
it's still solid. It's still solid.
You might have to go and check out our tier list and see where we put it.
That is true. That is true. All right, so are you going to invite me back on your show?
Yeah, you can come back on.
Sick.
I was gonna say,
Hi,
now
Floppy.
you can come back on
Sorry,
and-
Floppy.
Can I come on your show this Tuesday?
Yeah, well, you can, and then you can hype up your podcast as well.
What are you gonna watch this week so I'm not out of the game?
Michael picked for us to watch on Disney Plus, Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Oh, that movie is sick, man.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch it and come. Oh, look at the Floppy. Bedknobs and Broomsticks is a Has 9 Mary Poppins. It's like it's not very good.
I've
Dad
never
from Mary
seen
Poppins.
What?
So-
Floppy, you want to plug some stuff? You know,
Yeah,
maybe
mate,
something
look,
that we'll do together and
I don't-
not invite anyone because we're cool.
I don't have my own cool podcast or anything, but I am.
Why not?
I am appearing on Retro Trigger with Ben, talking about my very first SNES, which is really awesome and cool because I've never owned one in the 30 years that they've been out. So check that out. The other thing that you can do is jump over on Instagram, have a look at Floppy Plays Games, where I'll put up posts of recent game pickups, things I've been playing, stuff like that, cool things.
Cool. All right. We've been Hack the Dino. You've been you, I hope. If not, you should probably see someone about that, like a cardiologist. I don't know. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.